bit weird there, but Furia, that's a really like good win to be getting. And unfortunately, they had to then play at the LAN with stand-ins because of visa issues. But then they had a pretty weird showing at the Res Showdown. So I think for BetBoom, they've had a great start of the year, and I would put them as the favorites coming into this series. And then I think they also just have to kind of show off. They have stuff to prove in this qualifier for sure.
So is that your prediction? You're going with Nemiga.
Can I... wait, what? Wait. I was going to say, I was probably going to go with BetBoom, but I want Nemiga to win.
Oh, okay. That's fair. I'll let you off this time because we have to dive straight into it and instantly. Okay, Magnitudes with 2 right off the bat. Now Nemiga, only 2 players left. They've made their way in on towards the bomb site here, but they know that it's still heavily guarded. Yet another one to come through, finally put into the grave. But it's Zorta to finish it out and take the first round for BetBoom.
Yeah, welcome to the most normal pissed around on train. Just, straight into the game. We're here, we're live, it's fast, it's furious, and we're running out A. Everyone's blind, no one can see each other. There's dual Berettas up close. Welcome to a very standard start to this map. And I think expect that. That's what we should be expecting today. Are we doing what? This is something. Are you taking a look at this?
Yeah, what? I mean, it's something. I don't know what that something is.
Is it good? We're holding for Ivy. We're quite a long-range fight with the Glock, which is, impressive.
I mean, BetBoom doesn't take the bait, so to their credit, I suppose. And I love, like, we've got the most random flank imaginable happening on the other side of the map with Khan, but the rest of Nemiga is getting flanked in on as well. We've had a death in over towards B. Like, this is strange. All right, well, Nemiga down to 3 players now. They're still trying to make that pyramid work. It's not happening. I'll be real. If they get 1 here, I'll be impressed. Nah.
Yeah, it's a easy start. Just keeping all 5 alive. I'm yet to truly figure out. I've sat on the fence with, and I've gone back and forth with what side train is, because I think it's really in a flow state era where it's like it's just so team dependent. Like some teams will be way better on CT side, whereas I think the general curve is T-sided rating.
Is it?
No, sorry, CT side.
Yeah, okay, that makes more sense.
It's the most CT-sided map in the map pool, but I don't know. It doesn't really seem like that to me right now. However, first gun round, the excitement, and it's fast from BetBoom. They've got the MP9s, and they're already getting aggressive in towards Brown Halls through pop, through B ramp, and they're just gonna shred. And just like that, everyone falls.
I mean, yeah, that round could... maybe it couldn't have gone better, or maybe... It could have gone better, but it was really good. Let's put it that way. Losing 1 player, not the end of the world, right? So perfect scenario, 5 out of 5. But it's really good regardless. They take a really strong aggressive angle. They get those MP9s really up close and personal. They don't get as many kills on the MP9s as I think they maybe would have wanted, but they still farm up a very decent amount of cash here. So the buy into this round is robust, and Nemiga, few deagles, not much else.
I think they're at the stage where basically kept 4 alive. So I think they're happy with anything, no matter what the kills with what weapons. But that's a pretty poor start. That's a very poor start actually. Axile, who's had a great resurrection of form this year, returning to his landmark that we know him as being one of the best riflers in the world. He's already out. He's been one-teaked. Xanta and Zwei both picking up a killer piece. And now for Nemiga, sure, they have only 2 players of armor, but one of them's got a primary rifle now. They have a 2-man advantage. The herd's being thinned. This would be a devastating loss for BetBoom after having quite a pretty good start to the map.
And it'd be great for Nemiga because obviously 3 rounds consecutively of no bomb plant meant that their money's been in this like really weird limbo. So now they're still on pistol. So they open up with 2 kills. Xantar's picked up that AK, slow things down a little bit. They know they have a numbers advantage, but they're still pretty far behind in terms of utility. And I don't just mean ordinances, but guns as well, everything that kind of goes into that. Let's see if they can find themselves an ingress here. They're already making their way in towards this B side. Instant! Another Deagle Dink! It's not even the AK that comes alive in that moment. 2 players left alive here for BetBoom. They're slowly feeling this round slip away from them. Haven't been able to stop that bomb from getting planted. Now Boomich will activate, gets that first kill. Sirens follow it up. Now his position is known. Can he get a second? No. Beautiful swing there from Zwei. 2 versus 1. Boomich, caught, changing position. And it's Zwei with his 3rd of the round. And Nemiga finally get themselves on the board.
Yeah, that was a fantastic round from Zwei, and he's this young guy, 17 years old, gets picked up when he's only 16 years old with very limited experience, and so far in his time in Nemiga has only just continued to impress me. He's won a LAN, he's played an RMR, and he has that potency to pop off when called upon. What a fantastic round from him, and Nemiga, what a great way to get themselves on the board on their map pick.
How much more can they get done here? Zorte's picked up the AWP. So going to be looking to shut that down. Of course, he's holding for Ivy. Nothing there. So it's a great start to the round for Nemiga. Inadvertently having completely circumnavigated that AWP and minimized the risk involved. For now, depending on how long they take, rotation could still come in. Pulled out a little bit of that early CT-sided utility, but not enough just yet to make BetBoom sweat.
This is a lot of utility.
Yup.
They are dumping it down, but Zwei's tagged down, Risky Bob eliminated, Sirens picked up a brace, finally traded. But look at this from Zwei. He's just pushed all the way into connector, taken so much space, all the attention turned towards him, and this could put Lear in a winning position. CT side heaven. 1 drops, and Lear just holding down in a very advanced position. Unfortunately falls, and that leaves Khan in a 1 versus 2. Knows where both is, has to collect the bomb and tap those digits in, but he's taking his time, and he's actually faking out BetBoom. They think that he's maybe gone back towards A, but instead, he's picked back up the bomb. He's going to have the liberty to get a plant in, but the AWP, unfortunately, won't be able to capitalize upon Axel's low HP just the same way. Smoke down towards Thomas to give him some protection. Zorte's holding this very good angle, but he misses the shot. That was the opportunity, and now Khan has an opportunity. He takes the first kill, wallbang inflicted, and mingling around this smoke perfectly. Zorte lost track of his opposition, misses another crucial shot. USP out, and of course, that's the weapon that succeeds. Is there enough time? There should be no kit. I think it's still going to come down to the wire.
I mean, I don't hate the fact that they do a little bit of a reposition there and try and figure out, because it's not like they over-rotate. They don't send both of their players all the way over to that A site. They're still close enough that they can pivot if needed, right? Zorte's moved over towards A, but he's still in a position to get to that connector and rotate back in if needed. The problem comes in where it's that AWP's syndrome, where like you're holding an angle and it's that, or not even an angle per se, but you're scoped in, you're checking things out, and as you look away, you miss your moment. And unfortunately, he tries to correct for that, misses that shot, his teammate falls for it, but and then misses the second shot, which in and of itself is also a little bit concerning. But, you know, redemption arc pulls out the USP and makes that miracle happen. That was a really, really powerful round, I feel like, for BetBoom, because while Nemiga can still buy into this round, it's put them in a very, very tight situation economically. So losing this round with that kind of weird lost round bonus reset from winning 2 rounds back, it means that in the next round they're going to have far less to work with. So a very important round here for BetBoom, but vice versa for Nemiga, winning this round will break BetBoom's economy and give them a chance to come back in.
Oh.
No.
How?
Wait, what?
What?
It has to be a flash. Had to have been a flash.
How? Okay, I mean, Risky Bob was blind, but he also, I feel like there's a whiff there somewhere. Boomich, ineffective clearing of A main, but the fact that he comes away with 1 kill there is quite impressive. And for Nemiga, it's just a very annoying start to their round. They haven't been able to set up. They have no control towards A main. They don't really have any control anywhere in the map, and this is sometimes, I find, a very difficult position for a T-side to be in when the minute strikes on the clock and you have no map control, you have just enough utility to get onto the bomb site. It's sometimes the hardest place to be. Lear, though, takes contact and sees two, but it comes at the cost of his life. And for Nemiga, again, they're just not really set up in a position to take any of this space, but Xanta, how's he just got out onto A? There's been a massive chasm that's been opened up towards Pop, and he's on the bomb site. This is insane. They're never going to expect this. 2 kills should be up for the taking, but he doesn't clear Zorte. Zorte does reveal himself and actually chooses to smoke himself off. So even though this was an advantage for BetBoom, in more ways than one, the bomb's going to go down for Nemiga, and it's a 3 versus 3. Never mind, Xanta picks up another 3 versus 2 now.
So separated from one another, but a crossfire can be set up. The first kill comes through to even out the numbers ever so slightly. HE to come through. Oh, the spam from Xanta's good, but it's instantly traded. Now Zorte, yes, he has a little bit of an HP advantage, but he's coming up against the AWP. And, oh, well, there it is. That final kill to come through. Risky Bob, first kill on the board, but he makes it count. A very impactful one, and it means that BetBoom now are in some serious trouble economically.
I don't think I've ever seen Risky Bob get an AWP kill before. That was a first.
Yeah.
It's also his first kill in the series.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of, first. Great round from Nemiga. Like 3 versus 4. You just have that aggression coming out of Pop, and it's amazing. Taking so much liberty to that space. BetBoom, they leave a big hole in their defense, and it gets identified and dealt with. Now, as you mentioned, crippled economically. Best weapon is a FAMAS. It's a full purchase for BetBoom, kind of going all in or bust. And as we were talking about, this map is leaned to be a little bit more CT-sided. So for, well, actually quite CT-sided. So for Nemiga, getting a good start here, if they're able to break the economy, make it a 1-round game, play against the eco, even up 4-4, it's going to play into their hands.
Feels like gaps in the defense have been a little bit of a theme so far for BetBoom. They've been winning on kind of prowess more than perhaps control. And that's something that Nemiga can definitely take advantage of. Maybe not in this round. As much as they did win that previous round and they've done some serious damage to BetBoom's economy, their own economy after losing so many players, less than ideal, we'll put it that way. They still obviously get to keep that AWP, so they'll be grateful for that. But how much more can they get done here? A nice slow start, but look at how much space they've given over for free. Magnus has already started to rotate into their backside. Axel's in a great position to lurk as well, but no, instead he's going to make his way through connector, reinforce the site again. That gun disadvantage means that they really want to kind of death ball a little bit more here. Boomer just being spotted out. Oh, distraction being made. Could open it up, and yes, it does. Gets the kill onto Xanta. They're making things happen. Yeah, only 2 players left for Nemiga. Now Leah trying to stay alive, get as much damage done as possible. HE to go through, does a bit of damage, but can't quite make the magic happen. And in an unlikely round, it's BetBoom that swing things back in their favor.
That is a crazy round to be winning. And what a push from MagnoJez, because he just gives all the information over to BetBoom. They gamble stack towards that B bomb site, and they are victorious in their ventures. And MagnoJez, 9 kills already. He's having a great start to this series. He's someone who I mentioned of being like maybe gets overlooked a little bit by some of the similar counterparts from the region. But himself, he is an extremely talented player. And just making that very abrasive decision to go on the offensive, it validates BetBoom to get around. I don't think Magnus even got a kill in that, but it's the information and the chaos that he initiated that plays to the benefit, and he gets so much impact outside of just a kill. And this is a really good start for BetBoom, and for Nemiga, that was their opportunity to make this map competitive, but instead, they're now playing quite heavily on the back foot, and BetBoom take the advanced lead on their opponent's map pick. And remember, I said they're the favor and the veto, so as we're on train, it was like Nemiga kind of have to win train, or Mirage Anubis is going to look quite difficult for them.
It's an interesting pistol strat, I feel like, from Nemiga. But I think BetBoom, after the first time that they played it, kind of read into it a little bit there, and you could see it there with the peeking, just to see, you know, are they going to do the same crazy thing? BetBoom have definitely locked down the map a lot better than they had been previously, and that's good to see as well. Now Nemiga making a death ball of their own, coming in from the high ground, and this could pay off. It does give them a good angle, but oh, Siren, what a fantastic position from him, and it's just a spray down. Couldn't have expected too much more on a pistol, but c'est la vie. This kind of feels like a do or die round for Nemiga in this half. Because...
yeah.
Go on.
Well, I was just going to agree. Like, yeah.
Fair enough. I mean, yeah, like, economically, right? Losing this round puts them back down onto, like, pots and pans. Oh, they've already taken so much util damage. Sorte gets the first kill of the round, but with a much more aggressive push here from Nemiga. Xanta taking all of the space in onto the side. The smoke comes up to actually help him from BetBoom, and that's going to keep him alive just that little bit longer. That's why already up onto this train box here. Going to get a beautiful kill there. With only 2 players left.
This chaos.
I don't know, man. Like, they've... What? What a no-scope! As the smoke clears, can't stop the bomb from being planted, and somehow it's down to a 2 versus 2. The aggression from Nemiga certainly paid off here, however, as they will get that AWP off the board. Now Siren's the last player left alive. Going to be zoned out by this Molly. He does have a kit, so he has an opportunity. But positioning not really on his side. He's stomping his way through. How does he get that? Okay, Zwei never moved off of that container, so maybe that position was a little bit telegraphed here. 1 versus 1, it's certainly doable. The Molotov to flush out, the spray through to connect. The kit is on board, and he should have enough time. What a round. What a recovery.
Insult to injury for Nemiga. They get the effective entries. They get onto the bomb site. But instead, it's Siren to clutch up. Playing that 1 versus 2 very individualistically. Playing the 3 versus 2 very individualistically. BetBoom, they pick apart their opposition. And the experience being exhibited on the server. I thought that was a great change of pace for Nemiga. I thought them just bombing out of A main was probably a really good instinct in this part of the game, because they haven't really necessarily done that yet, and it does work. It succeeds. It's the post plants. It's the late round that doesn't, and I'm really shocked that BetBoom come out of that with a round 1.
Like I said, it was a really solid recovery from them. A lot of chaos went off into that one. Okay,
that's a
Leo
big
with a Tech 9.
misplay. Boomich got team flashed. They threw a flash in A main. Boomich gets blinded by it. And as that happens, Lear peeks pop. So Boomich kind of had vision while Lear would have peeked. But it was the prelim to that. Couldn't see anything. And now Zwei with the Hero AK. We've seen this before. We've seen Nemiga in these positions where they had a low purchase. That's where they succeeded previously, and it looks pretty good to do it again now, which is the crazy part of this T side. They're doing well when they shouldn't.
All right, look at Magnagez. This positioning from him could actually make a huge difference here if he does spot out this lurk. No! Oh, fires the shot. His position is given away. Now they know that there's somebody in the flank, but it's okay. Zorte is on site. He's got the AWP in hand. He's going to get smoked off, so unlikely to be able to get a second kill off of that before repositioning. Magnagez, he activates in that position. We're just waiting for that perfect timing, and as you said, now 3 versus 3. The recovery once again.
That's a good smoke.
They've managed to pick up an extra rifle for themselves, do Nemiga, and with bomb planted, they have an opportunity here to hold the line. No utility left, though, so once the smoke clears, unless BetBoom throw down another one for themselves, there's very little here to work with in this post-plant. Siren pushes through, followed up by Magnus. Now Risky Bob, that 1M4 just not going to be able to make anything happen, and it's yet another round for BetBoom.
These retakes and these late rounds for BetBoom are looking really clean right now. And what's really impressive, it seems to be the the trio of Siren, Zorte, and Magnogez, and I think that exhibits how potent this BetBoom roster is and how much firepower that they can wield, because Axel is normally the guy that you'd be looking at right now to be top in the charts, getting 150 ADR. He's the guy who's been top 5 rifler in the world previously, has had a great start this year already for BetBoom, and right now it's not that quartet, it's the trio, but they're still succeeding, they're still 8-2 up, and that's the difficulty when you play against BetBoom. It's not just the Axel show, everyone likes to get a piece of the pie.
I mean, currently it's not the XL show, right? But it kind of just speaks to your point.
Yeah.
Like, the fact that everybody's really stepping up and, you know, it doesn't really need to be the game player, the playmaker. That's the word I was looking for. Everyone needs to be the game player here. I don't know how I feel about Nemiga's slow defaults. So when they take aggressive space, they tend to get a lot done, but they struggle in the late round. They struggle with like maintaining that control and maintaining stability. However, on their slower rounds, it almost feels like they do worse. It gives so much space and time for BetBoom to reposition, to figure out where they are, to read into them, to, you know, flank around. And by the time they realize what's happened, the round's already half over.
Well, Nemiga, as you said, this round they're playing very patiently. And so they want to end towards the A bomb site, clearing out A main, smoke towards connector. That's going to be the only smoke, so Magnogez kind of uncontested. Archers, never mind. There comes in another smoke, but the HE lands on Pop as 3 players are coming out. They get chunked down, and they just go into the meat grinder. Even though there were 2 defenders towards B and only 3 towards A, they reign victorious, and it's Axel to double his kills and get on the board when we were asking of him.
Well, this is certainly a time for a tactical timeout. Their second one, however, last round and a half here. One more round could be a huge difference maker. Remember, we did mention a little bit earlier on that it is one of the more CT-sided maps in our pool. However, BetBoom have opted for a potential double AWP setup here. There is a world where they decide, you know what, maybe not. They could also just leave a rifle somewhere to come and collect it. There you go. It's already on the floor. Look at that. So going to try and get an early pick-off here. And, I mean, that could be absolutely devastating for Nemiga. Their economy is already in such a difficult position that squeezing out a buy here is less than perfect. They've had to sacrifice quite a bit of their utility just to give themselves something to work with into this one. But, I mean, if they don't win this round pistol and conversion, I think this map's basically over.
Oh, Zorte tried this last round, wasn't successful, but again positions himself with the AWP towards B ramp, and Xanta falls instantaneously. We've seen Nemiga go for these B executes before, but it hasn't really worked out in their favor, and now they're going to have to do it with a man disadvantage and still 2 players towards this bomb site. Very limited utility. They have no smokes left. This is double digits for BetBoom, it feels like right now. This is a perfect start to their IEM Dallas close qualifier proceeding, it feels like.
Alright, looks like we're
Not
gonna...
even going B.
Yeah, looks like they're gonna angle towards A instead.
And they have no control. They don't have A main. This is... So, and because of that smoke from Boomich, is actually deterring Nemiga away. This is such an awkward round for Nemiga. And then there's a smoke ramp. They literally can't go anywhere. And then if they try to go out heaven, boom, Zorte's holding it with an AWP.
And BetBoom still have 1 more smoke in the tank, so if they want to just stall this out in perpetuity, and unfortunately now only 1 flash left on Nemiga, they have to make this count, so wait for this smoke to clear. There you go. And HE came through to dissipate the smoke. Util coming through. They start making their way in on towards the site here. Unfortunately, 1 gets caught behind. Nobody's expecting this. Nobody's expecting Lear up there. Not a single player looking towards his direction, and he will capitalize perfectly off of that. 3 kills. And that could have just turned the round back into their favor. Now keep your eyes on Zwei because he is so far into enemy lines, but unfortunately, Axile will take him out. That brings it to a 2 versus 3 here. We've seen BetBoom come back from worse. But Nemiga, with everything on the line here, knowing how important this round is for them, will they be aware? The elbow peeks through Risky Bob to get his second AWP kill, but Khan will trade it out. Now Axile's the last one left, knows where both players are, gets the first, but time is slowly ticking away, and Khan just has to play for this. Don't get in your own head, don't peek out, but he does, and he will connect the shot regardless. A 9-3 half, but BetBoom looking hot to trot on our first map.
Quite a one-sided affair in the first half for BetBoom. On their opponent's map pick, they do let that final round slip. So it adds a question of, does this give Nemiga the lifeline and the conviction to now go on to their CT side, win a pistol round, clamber their way back into the game? Or was that just a blip? Was that a one-off? Are BetBoom just going to rise back to glory and end off this first map? We're all going to be finding that out in the second half.
Only one way to find out, and that's to get through it. Nemiga had some interesting rounds. The first round that they won seemed really solid. The last round that they won had so many question marks around it, and had a lot to do with just not checking for Leo. There was a bit of a weird misplay there, but they'll be happy that they did manage to get that last round. Now, as I mentioned before, pistol and conversion becomes so very, very important in the second half. is a obviously CT sided, so they're gonna have to use that to maximum efficacy.
I don't think I've seen a slower T-side train ever. But, okay. We're rolling out on the A bomb site. Smoke con, smoke archers, Lear, forced to respect this connector smoke, trying to play above it. But the T-side, they're just all over the bomb site. Bombs should be planted, but we're fighting from hell. We're fighting our way from Ivy, and that's going to be an opening kill for Nemiga. We don't have a kit in play, so this does add a time restriction, but all the kills are flowing in, and now it's just Zorta left alone in a 1 versus 5, and Nemiga, okay, they're back.
Yeah. Pistol demons in that round, it felt like. I do like that they play that a little bit more carefully, right? Like, you could go and do something similar to what BetBoom did on their pistol side, really kind of get in their faces, deny bomb plant entirely, just kind of try and run them over. But instead, Nemiga are like, all right, we'll concede that bomb plant. We'll go for a retake. We want to do this more methodically, a little bit less chaotically, because losing that round would have been devastating. So, sure, plant comes through for BetBoom. They'll be happy with that. A little bit of extra cash to play with. But for Nemiga, it's a all-important round win. And that, of course, means that they themselves are able to buy in quite nicely. Kit on board as well. Very glad to see that they haven't opted to forego that entirely. And now it looks like they're starting to take that aggression. Now that they have that weapon advantage, now they can get a little bit more in BetBoom's faces. Will it pay off?
For me, this whole game lies with this first gun round. I'm like, okay, this is an eco. It is what it is. Shouldn't be too difficult around for Nemiga. That brings them within 4. The first gun round is a good showing to be like, okay, do we have any weight to this? I think Zorta was a fantastic piece for BetBoom on their CT side. It's quite hard to AWP on this map, but he was able to do it quite successfully. Khan, it's quite a slow game. He had that 1 versus 2 near the beginning of the game, and you know, 1v2 is never an easy thing to win, but it was definitely a winnable 1v2, and since then he's definitely struggled. I think he's someone who I'm looking to step up on this half. Boomich has got out of heaven with a deagle, and this is a 3 versus 5, and you have got 2 players on 46 HP. This shouldn't be difficult. And okay, luckily Boomich misses the first deagle shot, and luckily for Nemiga, this should end up being a flawless round. Somehow. That actually got a little bit precarious with some kills. But yeah, this is it's going to be a big gun round. What do we see from the likes of Khan? Zway's been having a great year so far. He's been having a great map so far. Same with Lear. I feel like we're going to just need to see more from the individuals, because BetBoom, everyone was firing on full cylinders, even Axel towards the end.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think so. I mean, now we've got a competitive map, right? Now Nemiga are actually in with a shot. But a lot of it is going to hinge on this round. BetBoom winning this round could turn everything on its head. So for Nemiga, that same precision and perfection that we saw in the first couple of rounds, we have to see more of that. And again, they're going for very, very aggressive control in on the bomb sites, but less so towards their kind of A side extremity. Obviously, the B extremity is pretty covered here. But there's a lot of presence towards Ivy from BetBoom. So that could put Zway in a little bit of danger. But I love Xanta. I love how much space he's taking here. He's denying a lot of B control. And with having, you know, taken that extremity, that information there, that frees up Khan to be able to rotate back towards this A site. They now know exactly where the entirety of BetBoom are. They're in the T-spawn up towards the kind of northern hemisphere of the map. So there's only 2 realistic places they could be coming through. All the information in the world here. If Nemiga lose this round, it would be egregious.
This is the way that BetBoom win it, though. 4 Ivy, smoke on the right side. Nade in the smoke. Magnajez identified, but somehow he's able to get the kill. That is a massive frag to be picking up for BetBoom. Advantage forces them to push in towards A main. Siren only 1 for 1, but it still keeps the advantage for BetBoom. And yeah, they're going towards B. I thought this was probably going to be the game plan, and Nemiga, they're not in position to react off this. Smoking towards Connector, that blocked Xanta out, that blocked Khan out. And alongside Risky Bob, they're just going to have to rotate CT. I don't know how they get back into this round. Even though they have a kit, I think they could just be calling for a save here. And a perfect on-the-fly reactionary call from BetBoom to proactively move towards their B bomb site. It gives them double digits and subsequently the first gun round in this second half.
I mean, BetBoom was a team that I had already said earlier in this map. They've done so well at stabilizing and regaining control when things start looking a little bit rough. They lose about, I'd say, 60 to 70% of the map just in the first few seconds of the round because of how much space Nemiga takes. So they're incredibly limited in what they can do and where they can go. They start pushing the full stack in through Ivy, and I'm thinking like, Nemiga, you know where they are. You can play a little bit more passive. You can, potentially clear the smoke with an HE when they're pushing through. Maybe have 2 or 3 players spam down on them. But maybe they get a little bit too confident with the information that they have, and BetBoom take full advantage of that. So well played to them. The death ball cannot be underestimated. And as you say, great kind of last second decision as well to just continue that rotation all the way around the world. That was an important round for Nemiga to continue along with their streak. Now they're on that knife's edge, and it's another one where it has to be perfection. And of course, if they lose this one, they're going to be in with a broken econ, and BetBoom 1 away from map point. So this becomes that most important round for them.
Using a lot more utility early BetBoom than Nemiga were, for instance, and that's a really nice Ivy smoke because it just gives so much power and possession to the T side while forcing Nemiga to focus towards that part of the map. But Lear, he actually does trade out his teammate and is able to take control, take command of B main and Brown Halls, and it forces BetBoom to funnel their way into this A bomb site where a re-smoke towards Archers, a good mollo on Risky Bob, that's dealing a lot of damage, but will they expect him now? Will they expect 2 players on the bomb site? Magnagers doesn't seem to, but the spam through the smoke connects anyways. Risky Bob now baited in. It's an advantage for Nemiga. Liz also come through towards Connector, but Risky Bob's just been spotted. They know about Khan behind Archers, and Siren bombed down 1 versus 1. He knows where Khan is and is scurried in towards Connector. Molotov picked up for Khan. He's going to place it effectively. Siren forced ahead of it, but Siren lands the instant headshot, collects the 1 versus 2, and shuts Nemiga down, breaking their hearts.
That was incredible play by Siren. And I think there's also like an essence of misplay from Nemiga as well, because you know where Siren is. He's just planted that bomb, and there's almost an air of carelessness as Siren is approached right after that bomb gets planted. So being able to bring that 1 versus 2 to that 1 versus 1, that changed everything. And, some fancy footwork, not being exactly where Nemiga maybe expected him to be standing. A nice little swing towards the end there. And he's able to clutch out that 1 versus 1. Now, into this penultimate round, potentially, is why we'll get that first kill. But Siren will even out the numbers a little bit here. BetBoom going to have to be careful as much as it's lower weaponry. They have been caught out before, but with Axel activating there, taking down Zwei, who's been a huge proponent of Nemiga's side. Boombitch will follow it up with the kill onto Khan. And now, Nemiga's hopes and dreams in this round have shattered, dashed against the rocks. There's very little more that they could do into this one. Perhaps an exit or 2. But that will be BetBoom taking us onto map point on Nemiga's map pick.
That's a really nice round from BetBoom. Just picking up the pace when they're up against the lower weaponry, knowing that the counter utility is maybe not going to be as full. And it wasn't. So they were able to get out of A main. And then when they do, they don't overextend. They're able to put down the offensive utility. They're able just to hold for the swings that were destined to come in from the pistols. And now it's just if we can all get out, and it looks like we will. We'll have the luxury of saving an AK, but it's silver lining amidst a rain cloud right now for this Nemiga side. You're on 5 rounds. It's your map pick. As I said, you have these expectations when we were talking in the pre-show. Both teams have expectations. BetBoom, it's more like they need to do well. Nemiga, it's like, hey, I really want to see you guys do well because I have very high hopes from your 2024 season, but it hasn't been a great start to the year, and it's continuing to follow in that trajectory as their map pick. We've never seen them on train, and there's nothing really much to be happy or excited about from this map. It looks very stagnant. It looks very just fundamentals are not even that sound. Nothing exciting from a team that normally fills me with so much excitement.
Yeah, it's certainly been a rough start for them in this series. And I mean, like, a couple of players from Nemiga that I'd seen in the past that I was really kind of looking forward to seeing. And I mean, they're performing here, right? Zwei and Leah really doing well for themselves. Xanta as well, you know, kind of up there and holding his own. But we kind of mentioned BetBoom coming into this. Okay, nice little getting in behind them. It does... numbers do get traded out, however, but there's Xanta. I just mentioned him, and he, alongside Khan, will bring the numbers back into their favor. 2 versus 4 here. They've lost the bomb, but can they recover it? Nope. Zorte, last one left alive, and, well, I don't think there's any way you actually push into this. So there you go. Xanta, who I was just mentioning, someone that I was looking forward to really seeing activate here, and basically secures that round and gives Nemiga the stay of execution.
Yeah, it was just there was a big eagerness to trade there from BetBoom, and maybe just got a bit ahead of themselves. You have Xanta and Khan playing in conjunction, whereas for BetBoom, sure, they had the numbers, but it felt like everyone was taking 1v1s, just a little bit delayed. Like, the trade spacing wasn't as adequate as you maybe would have liked, and yet it is good to see Xanta playing well. He filled the void for Nemiga post-Flamus. He was definitely the guy that ended up rising his gameplay and rising his floor, and I think that's been a big part of Nemiga's success since they had the IEM Chengdu run. Like, since they lost Flamus to Game Legion and then VP, now Xanta raised the floor. And in a round like this, it's good to see glimpses of that. I don't feel like Nemiga are going to have the capabilities to come back into this map, but it is a good showing and a good sign for them to start just remembering how it feels to win before they go on to Mirage. And that can be a really important feature, as this has been quite a abysmal and just a depressing train.
Well, Nemiga are slowly starting to potentially claw their way back in. Now, they do need 6 back-to-back rounds just to get us into overtime. One of the few times I'm willing to actually try to do maths, but I feel like 6 and 12, that
I can do this one.
Yeah, it's a pretty simple one. So we'll see.
Ooh, this is cool. Nah, unfortunate.
Yeah, did not pan out the way they would have wanted. There is a trade-off there. So we'll keep numbers a little bit more even. But, I mean, this has kind of stalled BetBoom out massively. Looking to get a little bit more space taken there. Nemiga cut them off at the pass. Now they can back away. They've done a lot. Trades generally favor the T's, so BetBoom shouldn't be sweating too much just yet. And
this is interesting.
Okay, I kind of like this. Push into Ivy, potentially get behind them.
This all comes down to Xanta. This whole round, Xanta, he's been very proactive towards that B bomb side. You could see him again taking control towards B main. A big theme of this Nemiga side has been Xanta making these individual plays, taking this individual space, which was something that BetBoom didn't really do on their CT side. And now we see the activation of the lurk. But because we've cleared A main, we think it might be over towards B. Khan, he's missed the timing, but still will be able to execute the first. Need to see the rotations coming back from B. And luckily for Nemiga, they just have the manpower there and are able to overwhelm BetBoom. A lovely proactive CT side, and that is exactly what I was wanting from Nemiga all those previous rounds. They finally show up here.
I love that, right? And I mean, they even had Axile watching for the potential lurk. They knew they lost control of that side of the map. There was every possibility it was going to happen, so he was holding for it, and he loses that battle. And that's kind of one of the first steps of those dominoes starting to kind of collapse. And then, of course, that kind of more advanced position from Xantar gets that early information, and they're able to just mow through BetBoom as they make their way in towards the site. Now, finally, they've given themselves a massive opportunity in the fact that BetBoom are back down onto pistols. But BetBoom have done some really scary things with a few pistols previously. Xanta, however, threads the needle. And okay, what could have been a scary round goes pretty much as expected.
Yeah, Khan and Xanta, they're starting to pick up the pieces a little bit. I think the issue with this series is, okay, BetBoom, a lot of good individuals right now. Hey, the wallbang. And yeah, it's good to see Nemiga now, like the individuals starting to show up quite a bit. This is becoming a lot more contestable, especially with how Nemiga are playing these city sides. 4 more rounds till overtime. This is probably the gun round that I would suggest makes me believe. If they win this, they're gonna, let's say, be on 10. If they win this gun round, yeah, this is the stage where I'm like, okay, I'm gonna start believing. Not there quite yet. I still feel like BetBoom is gonna close it out now. But this round could sway everything. Zorto slowed down. To be fair, BetBoom have slowed down a fair bit. And Nemiga's, their C side have been lovely. A lot of pushing and pulling on all the extremities. Not allowing the T side as much space. BetBoom gave a lot of breathing room to Nemiga. It was a nice, interesting, different style of play of Train. Okay, I think Nemiga, I think they could be back into this. Risky Bob could be the final piece of the puzzle. If he's able just to pick up a few kills, right? That could change everything. Khan on the AWP, also a massive feature. Both rounds where both AWPs are up. This could be the difference maker. Liz already taking a big nade to the head, though, trying to get into pop. Xanta, however, is still successful in his endeavors over towards B.
BetBoom seeming to want to match, maybe not match, but kind of be ready for this aggression that they've seen from Nemiga so often. Put themselves in good positions to kind of catch off if anyone tries to get a little bit overly spicy. And this is wait, so that was their first timeout, and it was at a great time because, as you mentioned, this is a potential huge swing round for Nemiga, but it also gives them an opportunity to try to kind of talk through how Nemigas have been playing the CT side. So whatever their adaptation is here, and so far it's just real kind of slow, methodical angle holding and trying to catch that aggression off guard. And if it does work out for them, if that timeout gets the results that they wanted, then this could be a very, very different story. Nemiga already having to kind of back away a little bit. They've realized that BetBoom have not taken the bait. They haven't pushed in ridiculously, so instead they'll fall back ever so slightly and just wait. It's the waiting game.
Khan's rotated towards B. We have no more utility anywhere on the map, so for BetBoom, they're going to be able to get out onto this bomb site for free. Flashbang's utility starting to be propelled. Risky Bob reveals himself, sees them scaling out. There's the impact we were talking about, but the players are falling. Khan, the rotation is successful, but alone on this bomb site and eliminated. Magnojez subjugates him. Xanta, a clutch for salvation. Nemiga, they lose this, they lose their map pick, and with Xanta falling, it's Axile to put the cherry on top. It's Axile to give BetBoom a very successful start to their IEM Dallas closed qualifier run.
What, like, that timeout was just so perfect. Whatever was being said there, it worked out.
Zwei, Xanta, Khan. If those guys all step up, then I think this could be a very successful game for Nemiga. But then ultimately as well, like, what was it? Risky Bob getting 6 kills at the end. Like, no matter how you put like no matter where you go in a game that has what 20 rounds of Counter-Strike, if you have 6 kills, that is simply not good enough. So I think that's also a big thing for Nemiga. You can't have someone drop off that massively, and that's already a great start for Zwei as we head into the pistol round. Map 2, Axile eliminated.
Zwei was a little bit of a pistol demon before, but now he's been put to rest. Not going to be able to let much more happen here. Nemiga, yet again, CT side looking very, very strong. Boomich, can you get this? Oh, it was down to like a 1 versus 3 there. One player left alive. It is Xanta. There's so much time on board. He's got the bomb. He can hightail it out of there, and it looks like that's what... No, okay, he's going to fake it out. Rather not move away, or maybe he does. A little bit of mind games here. But it looks like he is going to commit to this B push instead. And Xanta still shift walking, still uncertain, can't hear the footsteps all the time in the world for Boomich. So at the very least, they will get this plant down. But if Boomich can clutch it, oh, wouldn't that be magical?
I almost favor him in this instance. Xanta, though, has got the right idea. He's already in towards market. It's going to hear Boomich dropping down. Bomb planted, and this plays into Xanta's hand, and it's going to be no clutch for the IGL. Xanta, no, not allowing the bomb to go down as well is quite good for the proceedings, because BetBoom also won't have the extra $600 to go alongside that.
I was convinced he'd at least get that plant, but he like hit the brakes massively as he got to apartments. And fair enough, you don't know what Xanta's done. Has Xanta, did he hear you? Did he instantly start to rotate? Is he there waiting for you? You've got to be that little bit more careful, and doesn't have cast vision, doesn't know he had all the space to potentially make that happen a hell of a lot faster. But well done to Xanta for stopping that in its tracks, not allowing it to go any further. Now, BetBoom, with that little bit of extra cash, all they've done is kind of upgrade the one pistol. Hasn't managed to net too much just yet, but I do like the decision. Make sure that you can come into the next round with a very, very robust buy. For Nemiga, of course, much bigger advantage.
Run boost, run boost. Fly! Fly, my child! Oh, fly to my death.
Oh.
You know what's been really quite impressive this whole series has been the real shutdown of anti-ecos. It doesn't seem like that big of a deal, but both teams have done very good at keeping 4, or for the most part, all 5 alive up against these lower purchases. And for Nemiga, it's a good start. They're 2-0 up. They've won the pistol round. Just give it some oomph. This first gun round, they've got the low weapon. They've got 2 FAMASs, 2 MP9s. Maybe we see something a little bit faster. It's going to be lit. Yeah, jumping down into middle, trying to take the fight to them. But instead, brawling from connector. Brawl, though, however, Boomich will. Risky Bob does trade. And now BetBoom fall out of middle. It's a 4 versus 4. Magnages has also been dinked. And they're going to leave Zorte here to lurk.
Alright, Xantar spots out. HE gets tossed, does a little bit of damage. Khan, I'm going to go ahead and say he's an unknown quantity here. So instead of pushing into it, there's a molly as well, just to kind of deny space for a moment. It's going to stall them out ever so slightly, but Risky Bob definitely getting a bit risky there, and he'll get his head blown off for his troubles. Nemiga going for these more aggressive plays. BetBoom are kind of knowing to expect it. So the moment Nemiga kind of peek out to try to take this space, there's somebody from BetBoom waiting, somebody ready to take advantage. 1 versus 3 here for Khan. Oh man, and he just... That was unfortunate. The wide swing, the Ferrari peak, the prediction of just like, he's probably there. He's probably spent the entire round watching his team die, and we're going to shut him out. That's
actually a great round from BetBoom, because they put themselves in quite an advanced position and then see quite a lot of pushback from Nemiga. There was 2 nades thrown towards apartments that would have baited in Khan as well, but instead BetBoom just hold. They let Zorte, the mid lurk, activate. They push into his crosshairs, and the same goes for Axile. It's a very easy thing to do for a team like BetBoom against maybe a more inexperienced team. When you're in these very awkward positions, just freeze, just hold and let the other team make the mistake. Let them over push. That's exactly what happened. That is a very labored spray from Magnitudes because BetBoom, they picked up the pace. They're charging onto this A bomb site. It is absolute pandemonium, and it's a 2 versus 2 with the bomb site capitulated, but Khan looking to fight, and fight he will above the smoke on top of Ticket. What just happened?
I was convinced that Boomich saw his head there, just peeking out on top of the smoke, but apparently not. He looks away. Sometimes chaos is not always the play. And to be fair, Nemiga had a fairly good read on that, all things considered. Like, they were seemingly ready for BetBoom to just rush through onto that A site. So well done to them. Maintain that control. They lose 1 round. They instantly bring it back. BetBoom's economy is in the toilet. 1 hero rifle for Zorte. Zorte, of course, has been fantastic, but how much can he realistically get done here? So it's looking like a 4th round for Nemiga. A much better start than what we saw on Train. Maybe it is just T side. Maybe Nemiga kind of struggle on that front.
I'm actually just shocked at how that round went about, with MP knives diving into Sandwich, players just fighting in and around everywhere. But this should be a pretty easy collected round for Nemiga. We've got the hero AK on Zorte, and right.
All right.
That's quite a cool kill on his way, but it shouldn't do too much. And this is a really nice play from Nemiga where they crunch mid and then just fall back onto the A-bomb site, very aware of players progressing up. He might not expect Sandwich, but he will see him, and he actually dodges the flashbang, which ends up spotting the Sandwich player. Yeah, a really nice round from Nemiga. It's just a very easy protocol to mid-round crunch towards mid, but then also have the protocol to then be like, okay, when we disengage, this is how we go about it.
So question marks now for BetBoom to see what their next play is going to be. They almost managed to clutch out that pistol. The round that they finally do win was pretty good in and of itself. They kind of ran circles around Nemiga. The round that they lost was an attempt at a very aggressive exec onto the A site. So this time around, not going to be going for that. Instead, Sorte just instantly gets that first kill, full blind in mid. That's going to give them that numbers advantage and a lot of damage done onto Leah as well. So primed here to bring things back into their control. Good smoke there. Just to deny sightline a little bit. However, it does give Zorte a bit of free movement up to top mid. Mid is now completely freer with that window smoke as well. So very little information here. Nemiga just kind of have to guess as to whether BetBoom have pushed up. Of course, they have.
Ooh.
And but they're not. The one person, Leah, just not ready. Instantly taken out. Now they do know that it is the mid push. They would have seen every single player there. Finally, we're seeing a little bit of damage being done. But yes, that short kill is huge. It means that the bomb can rotate over. It can move over towards B. It doesn't even have to. Nemiga get a little bit over eager. And, well, BetBoom just hold the line.
That was actually looking quite good for Nemiga. Okay, sure. They do lose the first player on the bomb site, but it baits in Zway. It also baits in the second CT player. I think it was Risky Bob. And then you also have the short crunch coming in. I was watching that being like, ooh, I think BetBoom, even though they have the advantage, might just walk into the meat grinder. But it's Magnitudes who's still in ladder room. It's the players being kind of aware as soon as they lose that first player ticket, they are able to react effectively. But to be honest, I think that it's the one kill Magnitudes onto short. That changes everything. If he hadn't got that kill, they may have not been able to disengage. Maybe they would have been trapped in that aforementioned meat grinder. But BetBoom end up fighting their way out of a situation that could have turned very sticky.
Another round that's more or less a foregone conclusion here. Gamble towards B, bombs headed towards A. And finally, things start to look a lot better for BetBoom. I mean, to be fair, the first map looked so great for them. To have seen them kind of struggle so much in the earlier part of this map was a little surprising, I suppose. It was good to see those signs of life from Nemiga as well, to see them start kind of building up a little bit of momentum for themselves, getting some traction, and finally getting some rounds looking a lot cleaner than they had previously. But again, you know, I'm kind of leaning towards maybe this is just they're stronger on their CT side, and I'll have to wait for the second half to kind of make a full estimation on that. Especially now with how much kind of free roam BetBoom have had to start pulling their way back into this map. There's every possibility that BetBoom just kind of stopped this in its tracks here. The next round is going to be a pretty important one because Nemiga will actually have some cash available. They'll be able to buy back in, be a 1-round deficit. So winning that round could be the big difference maker for them.
Again, the anti-eco's being kept pretty clean, both sides. It's been it's been a very methodical game of Counter-Strike, and we haven't let it slip against those lower perches, which is always a really good sign. Okay, Khan's out on the AWP. In the previous gun round, he was the first to fall. Did quite an aggressive maneuver towards middle. Again, he had quite a slow train. He had 4 kills at the half. That's not really good enough. But now, CT side, on Mirage, he's got the AWP out. Where's he going? He's going towards B early on. It's going to be boosted into apartments fast, actually. This is a very interesting play towards the extremity. He's not going to be able to see... He's not going to see anyone, but he's going to allow for Xanta to rotate off B to potentially help short or come bolster middle. So we've got the AWP trained in apartments, and then it's going to allow for a late round 3-man crunch in towards middle, but a resmoke towards window. Xanta unable to fight, and it's actually Risky Bob to fall first. Axile, that's the generational rifler I was expecting on map 1, and on Mirage, he gives yet another opening kill for BetBoom.
The short position has been punished quite a few times at various stages in the round, but finally, we start to see this connector push punished from BetBoom. And they lose those 2 players, so now they're at a disadvantage. Bomb should get planted regardless, and they do have full control of the site, but Nemiga with far more forces, and they're just adding, well, maybe subtracting more from BetBoom here. So for Zorte, there's really not much more to be done here. This is a great round from Nemiga. Much better control, much better read into BetBoom as well.
That was actually a beautiful mid-round from Nemiga, because they lose the opening kill on short, and Khan just leaves apartments. He rotates towards short, and alongside that, both Lear and Zway double up towards connector. They have that proactivity to maneuver one off the bomb site and give up the bomb site, and they're completely okay with doing that because they give themselves the advantage going into the retake because of that crunch towards mid. That's a really nice proactive play again from Nemiga. And it's the same thing that I was praising about them on train. They're able to maneuver around the map, and they're happy to give up that space to take others to then make the retake even easier for themselves. Really nice, not spreading themselves too thin. That's a really nice play after losing the opening kill.
Can they replicate it? BetBoom really enjoying this mid presence, and Nemiga opting not to contest it too much. They've kind of lost out in mid a little bit too often for their own liking. So instead, they kind of give up that space and hold any other kind of points of ingress. And there you go. Magnage's cut down in his prime. The AWP will shut him off, and now they'll smoke that off. Okay, there was a smoke there earlier. I am being a little bit mean. But, I mean, this has been great adaptation from Nemiga, just from start to finish. Now, BetBoom, they know that they've lost any sort of control in mid here. They have to back out and reassess the entire plan. Now, this is a cool read from Nemiga, and I think it could be accurate because they've moved 3 players over towards B to reinforce there. Oh, no, it was probably just a util handover. Never mind. I thought that would have been...
Lear up on the bomb site.
Yeah. I really thought this was more of a fancy read into a B hit. But that being said, Nemiga haven't given up too much space on the map itself. Unfortunately, that incendiary is going to force a retreat somewhat. And yes, this B finish does look to be in full effect. Zwei, however, catches the lurk off guard. So now only 3 players left alive here for BetBoom. But Axile activates. And they will keep those numbers a little bit more contested. But they lost the bomb! God, with the AWP! And finally, the cleanup on the B side as well. BetBoom just could not step. They could not make a single correct step in that round.
It's just really cool for Nemiga because you can see how they orchestrate their defense depending on how the round's going. So when they're in maybe a man advantage, when they're in the 5 versus 3, they're going for a little bit more of the aggressive plays to reclaim some map control. Whereas there, they lose the, they get the opening kill and they play on the extremities. And BetBoom, they get put in a very difficult position where they have no utility, and that's their downfall. They don't have any utility for window. They go 1-for-1 from Zwei, and then don't expect Xanta also, they don't expect Khan also to be holding short. They don't have any utility to dispose of him, to block him off, so they can't even get onto the bomb site, and then it allows the players who are directly defending the B side to focus on apartments, because short's not a worry because the AWP's holding it for you, dropping the bomb and making BetBoom's life really hard. I'm loving seeing the different setups that BetBoom are orchestrating depending on the outcome of the early or the kind of like first 30 seconds of the round. And again, up against these anti-ecos, I've praised both teams this whole series of how clean it's been. We've lost 1 player already, but it shouldn't be anything more, as there's only a hero AK and nothing else to go alongside that. And Siren's also yet to get a kill. And this round, I don't feel like it's going to be the time, as he's just on a Glock.
It was a fairly chunky HE that came out a little bit earlier as well. Oh dear. Okay, there you go. Managed to pick up a rifle, but didn't matter. Lost out to Xanta. And yeah, I mean, with the low HPs, the cleanup here should be relatively simple. Okay, there we go. There we go. Axel keeping it expensive, although at this late stage in the game, it doesn't really matter all that much. He's kind of activated in a way that we really hadn't seen on Train. But as you mentioned, right, Siren kind of seemingly took up the mantle of struggling, riding that struggle bus. And with only 2 rounds left in this half, there's not a lot of time here for him to step up and to show that he's, you know, on the server. And 2 rounds for BetBoom here would be pretty important if they can make it happen, but losing this round is again going to put them into a pretty tight spot on the eco, or econ. Apologies, I know that can be confusing.
I like this a lot. This is a cool little change up from Nemiga. We've been putting pressure towards extremity on B, we've been putting pressure towards middle, and we just take aggression towards ramp while also having Khan excel in towards connector. BetBoom, they do lose the opening kill, but they have put Magnajez once again in a very advanced position towards ladder. And look at this again from Nemiga. They smoke B apartments and they just push in towards short. Magnajez, Molo not affecting him. Xanta goes for the clear. Xanta whiffs. Risky Bob, good trade. But then Axel realizes no one's on the bomb site, and Risky Bob can't get back in time. Can't backtrack to save the bomb site. So now Nemiga, being blocked out of the bomb site, have to go for this 3 versus 3 retake where Zwei is still preoccupied on A, but never mind, the bomb can't get planted. Lear goes in by himself, denies the bomb going down, but ultimately falls. Zwei finally catching up with Khan, but Khan not expecting Siren to rotate, and the first 2 kills for him in this series, and first 3 couldn't come at a better time.
Perfect time to activate there. Nice little bit of mind games going on just to keep Nemiga on their toes a little bit there. I feel like Khan... So when he pushes into the site, there was still another player alive. And then he realizes he needs to retreat. There's like almost no cover available. He also wanted to swap from that AWP onto a rifle just to like trying to retake with an AWP can be just damn near impossible. And unfortunately, as he's trying to regroup with his teammate, he gets taken out. Really good round here from BetBoom. And again, their adaptations have been really good overall. And I think the last round of Train was such a solid example of that after a really well-timed timeout. And now we're seeing Again, last round and a half. They've taken a timeout here. They want to secure themselves this last round. They have a massive advantage in terms of the weaponry that they bring into this round. So what looked like a potentially floundering T side has become a lot more competitive here. And a 7-5 half is more than doable to come back from, particularly if you can confirm the pistol round. Oh.
I do like this
Unfortunate
CT
missed shot.
side. I do like this from Nemiga. We keep on moving. We're keeping on taking map control. We see the AWP towards ramp. We take towards palace.
Okay, but look at Exile.
Ooh, look at
Like,
him.
this
Yeah.
is...
Last round, he took a lot of liberties, and that was basically what won the round for BetBoom. And he's going to be doing it again. Magnajez catches off Khan as well. Xanta, because of that kill, will be falling back towards B, so Axile's kind of lost his timing, and yeah, he tries to take the timing while in the man advantage, and that feels a little bit unnecessary. Now it's a 4 versus 4. Now BetBoom need to go onto this A bomb site. There's 3 defenders here, and they will be revealed coming up, but it's all falling apart. The pistols falls down to Risky Bob. He's got 2 kills. It's a 1 versus 2, but he can't put the cherry on top. Siren, a massive resurgence in the back end of that first half. BetBoom, give them something to cheer about going into the second half.
All right, we saw a pretty strong resurgence from BetBoom towards the end of that first half, and not just BetBoom, but Siren himself doing so much work. 3 kills in the penultimate round, 2 in the ultimate to get him his 5 of the series, but they were 5 very, very impactful kills that assured BetBoom 5 rounds at the end of that half. Now, however, it's the potentially uphill battle to regain control, gain a lead, and maybe slam this out in a 2-0 fashion. For Nemiga, on the other hand, their T-side on train looked a little bit lackluster. Does that theme continue here, or will we see some better signs from them this time around?
If I'm Nemiga, I'm definitely disappointed with only getting 7 rounds. That was a really good CT side, and they just lose some quite pivotal rounds towards the end. And now already, BetBoom, off to a good start, holding off this A offensive. Zorte unfortunately does fall towards top middle, so it does give Nemiga the ability to pivot and reposition, which they shall do as they've got a lot of time left on the clock. The issue is they've already used their utility. They've already smoked UT, they've already smoked connector, so we have 2 players with no armor in a man's advantage with only 1 flashbang. BetBoom, they're just going to chill. They're just going to play very deep on the bomb sites and wait until they spot where Nemiga are. So sure, we have the ability to pivot and we have repositioned, but how successful will this change of plan be?
They've got so much potential information here as well. There you go. A little bit of info garnered in towards mid, but this could be a bit of a red herring. Not taking the bait. Good call from BetBoom, still maintaining. Now it's going to come down to Mangajays. How much can he get done here with the dualies? Only good for 1. Instantly traded out. The dualies will be handed over, but it's the bomb holding long. There you go. Going to be able to come back a little bit as we get 2 more kills out towards mid here. 2 versus 2. It's still anyone's round, but so much damage taken by Nemiga. There you go. Leah gets shot, and as you said, time ticks away. And there's just really not much more that can happen here. Khan gonna take a miracle to get these final kills, but no, a flying shot from Boomich, and that is BetBoom winning a very important pistol.
Did Axel get running goosed across the map? That is ridiculous. I mean, obviously BetBoom win the round, and it's like, okay, it doesn't matter, but that is a ridiculous dink for Khan. However, this almost confirms the nightmare for Nemiga. After having a very good CT side, they only get 7 rounds. That wasn't good enough for the performance they had. And then they come on to second half, they lose the pistol round, boom, BetBoom have the momentum. They have the advantage. This is their map pick. They're a map to the good. And up against the eco, they're looking to keep this pretty clean, and they're already starting off very successfully. Maybe a little bit too aggressive from Magnajez in middle there. But if I'm Nemiga, I'm starting to potentially get a little bit scared with this whole series, thinking, I think we could be in a bit of a pickle right now.
Yeah, I don't think there's too much to be salvaged from this round, all things considered. Bit of extra damage would be quite nice. And this will even out the scoreline for BetBoom here. So kind of all of that back foot that they were peddling on in the previous half, just that gap is instantly closed now. 7-7, and all worrying signs slowly fading. You know, the wrinkles on their faces, the concerns that they were feeling have all kind of faded away here, and they'll come into this next round feeling a lot more confident and a lot more clear on how they can take this. Of course, it is just the first 2 rounds of the CT side, so we've yet to see what kind of adaptations Nemiga might take into the next few rounds, especially once they actually get some decent weaponry on hand. Money's in a bit of a decent position for them, so they should be able to get a good buy out of this and to keep this next round competitive, but it kind of hinges on how this round goes, whether or not they can maintain their competitiveness.
We've got a short little tech pause. Nothing to worry about just yet. As we see the cool cinematics of Mirage. this is a perfect opportunity to talk about the open qualifier, because oh baby was that chaos. Firstly, I think we had potentially a record-breaking amount of teams that entered the qualifier. 965. They actually had to extend the amount of teams that were able to play because it almost exceeded it, or the teams that signed up were. And okay, the gun round actually did go live. So we are back into it. Nemiga, first gun round, they get the bomb down. They have a man advantage. Axile in towards Palace clears it out. They have no kit, so this is a bit of a sticky position for BetBoom to be in. And it looks like Nemiga manning the storm a little bit. Doing very well to continue their lead on the T side. Khan, big 3 kills, I imagine. So, okay, this is a big round for Nemiga. They only keep 2 alive, unfortunately, because of a good nade onto Risky Bomb. That actually does have implications on the economy. It's kind of the classic of like 3 can drop 2, but 2 can't drop 3. So Liam might just be reduced to a Galil, which he will be. And for BetBoom, they lose the first gun round, but they still do have funds to work with. So we'll have those 2 saved rifles alongside a purchase from Boomich. And it's only Siren that's a little bit lower on the 5.7. But BetBoom, okay, they lose the first gun round. Shows that we do have a competitive Mirage on our hands.
Right, now we can see how things actually transpire, which is pretty cool. Interesting, going for the 5-stack rush into B. Instantly, we get a kill from Siren. He's definitely turned on, but he will get traded out, unfortunately. So that's going to lower the reinforcements here on this site. Regardless, BetBoom, the reaction to those first few shots, to seeing 2 players, to have the entire team rotate in within seconds, a barrage of flushing utility to either stall them out or push them forward, and a spray down of bullets means that Nemiga barely survive. I don't think they even stepped foot on the site.
I don't think that, yeah, you know, rent was called. BetBoom evicted them out from apartments. That's a massive rebuttal, and that actually shows the importance of getting those 3 kills in the round that you lost, because Nemiga straight from hero to 0 as they're down onto another full eco. 3 deagles, 2 glocks, no armor, no utility. This is BetBoom taking the lead on Mirage for the first time this whole map, right? Yeah, they never had the lead.
Yeah, correct.
It was 7-3 was the furthest that Nemiga got, and it looked like they were going to extend to like an 8-4, 9-3 perhaps, but ultimately it's now going to be 9-8 to BetBoom. And their objective is to keep this round clean. They had 3 to stay alive in the previous. They're looking to get 5 alive in this one. So that means economy's going to be pretty good. We're not going to have the AWP out yet for Zorte, but it will mean maybe in the not this next round. Oh, no, okay, we can get the AWP out now because Managers has died. Just don't want to give Khan anything more. A missed grenade would have done the job, but Axel just giving Khan a little bit extra time, and he goes, yeah, you know what, Siren? I'll give you the grenade kill. And that's Siren, by the way, who was like 0-9. He's now 9-12. That doesn't look amazing, but it's a pretty big resurgence. And those kills actually came out originally in quite a big manner.
And unfortunately, that does draw attention to Xanta, who was someone that I was really looking forward to seeing, who had a really good game on train as well. Saw him having some really good positions, getting some really impactful kills. And now on Mirage, just has not really managed to find his footing, unfortunately. So starting to look a little bit weary there. We'll give it some time. Hopefully he'll be able to kind of find his way back into it a little bit. But as you mentioned, that AWP has come out. It's quite funny that getting that shot, Khan getting that kill actually did more harm than it did good. But yeah, a little bit of extra cash for him, so I suppose it does work out in a way. Swings and roundabouts. All right, Nemiga, what is the play? How do we turn this back around? They've tried a few different execs. They've tried, some more rush style. I don't like how they give up mid so easily, but a very impactful kill into mid here onto Axile, who has been absolutely phenomenal so far. gives them a window of opportunity. Oh, it misses the smoke, so Zorte doesn't get the opportunity to collect a free kill. Not that there was anybody there, but, you know, opportunities, unfortunately, taken away.
Yeah, I think it wasn't necessarily meant for the smoke. It was meant to do damage to someone on the periphery of the smoke, and it didn't even get that anyways. BetBoom, that could have been the 4 versus 4 right there. Xanta dinked. But it won't impede them coming up. Connector, Magnojez at the worst time looks away from window and gets caught between 2 mines. Boomich is in T-spawn, but Nemiga are on the A-bomb side. And this is a very simple round for them, all things considered. They just scale up middle, they get the opening kill on Axel, and then just boost in and also crunch Magnojez from 2 different angles. This is a really easy round for Nemiga that keeps this game hotly contested.
And small things that kind of lead to it, right? Like I was talking about how they'd given up so much space in mid and it was a bit of a concern, but then they get that first kill. The smoke comes down, which gives them space to scale up. The HE doesn't clear the smoke, so they have space to kind of stick around and they can pivot off of that, get their way in on towards the site, force BetBoom back. Bob's your uncle. They even out the scoreline once again. It just goes to show that these very small moments can springboard you to opportunities that maybe you weren't expecting to be just around the corner. They're now also on the hunt, looking to try and take away some of these weapons if they can. Boomich, oh, it was close. But he survives, manages to hold on to the weapon here. So BetBoom at the very least able to hold on to that bit of weaponry. And I think critically, they do get to hold on to the AWP as well. Didn't really have the opportunity to shine in that last round. Wasn't really given the chance, but perhaps into this next round we can see BetBoom take that lead again, or maybe Nemiga finally regain some of that control. I do like that this map is far more back and forth than what we'd seen earlier, and Risky will crack open this A site with a kill onto Boomich.
Ooh, Zorte's in a whole host of troubles, and a missed shot that might dictate how this round plays out. Siren, unfortunately, can't add any more to his tally, and CT gets cracked open. With that, might just crack open the whole round, and yeah, BetBoom forced to slink back off into the darkness. Nemiga, it's a big pace change out onto this A-bomb site, and the CT side have no reaction to it. Lucky to keep 3 alive, all things considered. And I guess the question is now, are they going to continue to keep all 3 alive? Because look at this from Zwei. Ooh, almost catches Axel, but Axel will prevail, and BetBoom, after taking the lead, so swiftly lose it.
Definitely seeing some much better signs of life here from Nemiga as well. Seeing a lot more control and... what's the word? Like, not decisiveness, but... like, they have a plan, they're sticking to it, they are... there's like a clear understanding of what they want to do and how they want to do it, which I think makes a huge difference here. And again, you know, there's still that level of uncomfortability on a map like Train. I keep bringing it up, but it was such a poor showing on their T side that you kind of have to draw those parallels, especially since it was their map pick. But it still has so many kind of unknown variables and quantities, and people are still kind of finding their footing. There's, you know, a lot of things that the people are still kind of getting used to. But a map like Mirage, one of the puggier maps, this is where Nemiga can really start to shine and show what they're made of, and that's exactly what they've started to do here. Now, instead of kind of angling over towards that A site, we change things up a little bit. We have a bit more presence over towards mid to B. And again, they get very, very early control here, getting that kill, getting the first 2 kills. Xanta completely unchecked. They know that BetBoom like to play that more aggressive line in towards mid, and he'll take advantage. And already a 2-player lead for Nemiga. How do BetBoom stabilize?
This is a change up from BetBoom, you know, sitting 2 players underpass. It is a dynamic version of their CT side, but they just walk into Xanta, who, sure, may have had more of a quiet Mirage, but so is Magnojez, so is Zorte. Zorte has been saving the AWP time and time again, but has been unable to get anything effectively done with it, and this round will be no different. BetBoom, we're just gambling towards A. All 3 players in and around this bomb site. Nemiga just making sure they don't walk into the lion's den, making sure they don't walk into the belly of the beast. And with Xanta now just on this B side, just going, okay, yeah, there's no one here. That's where the Ross is going to go. And Xanta, not only does he get 2 kills, but he single-handedly wins this round out for his team and puts them onto 11. BetBoom, they just continuously are trying to save, but I've got a feeling this round, Risky Bob and Sway might not allow them to do so. There's the first, a trade, but that favors Nemiga. Going 1-4 in these situations, you've got fine money next round, Nemiga, but BetBoom, not necessarily the same.
I mean, giving over a few extra kills there. If only that was on the other side of the map. If only it was just that little bit closer to the bomb. But opting for the save here is definitely the right call to make, because things have definitely flipped on their heads. Nemiga now penultimate, or on their way to the penultimate round. And BetBoom's economy is a bit tight here. They'll be able to buy for each other and keep everybody stacked and ready for this next round. But losing this round, it's kind of exactly what we saw on Train earlier, where if they lose this round, it's potentially the last round, map point, and they will have very little money to spread across to maintain any sort of a defensive line. So this is a really, really important round for BetBoom to win. Bearing in mind, of course, if BetBoom lose this map, we go to map 3, and both teams will have lost their own map pick. So for Nemiga, there's a point of pride here after having lost their own map. Trying to turn this back around in their favors. Why? Getting a little bit up close and personal. Boomage cancels him, takes him off the board. Zorte misses the shot. So now, all position is known. Now that they have that information, they smoke it off, and they don't allow that sight line. In fact, BetBoom themselves smoked it. That was pushing into... Zorte pushes straight through the smoke, but yes, Xanta is right behind him. Knows that he's there, trying to find a sight line with all of these smokes. Zorte moves in on towards the site. Bomb is backing away. Risky Bob's died in mid.
What's going on?
What are Nemiga doing?
I'm what's going on? Xanta's still in ticket? Wait, Sorte's holding for him? No way! Xanta, he had the prime position. He had the round in his hands. He has BetBoom exactly where he wanted them. And he doesn't even do any damage. Such a messy round from Nemiga. Sure, it's a great opening for Boomich. He catches the timing as the player in Palace throws a Molotov. You know, that's fantastic. But it unravels so quickly from there. Zorte even misses the first AWP shot. He pushes through the CT smoke, misses the first shot. I thought that was then going to spiral into Nemiga chasing him down, trading out Boomich, but they do nothing of the sort. And finally, BetBoom, their continuous saves pay dividends as they put a round on the board and keeping all 5 alive.
This was I think that this was one of those rounds where it was kind of, you see the finish line, you start rushing towards it, and that's when the mistakes start happening. Because that was just really odd. With the way that space was being taken, it felt like communication just wasn't where it needed to be. Everybody's kind of trying to make a play, trying to, you know, find an opening, find a position to allow the bomb to get planted and to kind of hold on to it. But everything just kind of falls apart at the seams. Now, the good news for Nemiga is that they built up enough of an econ to not be concerned about this round.
What a nadler.
Like, cleared the smoke. You know.
That wasn't his nade. That wasn't his nade.
Oh.
It was the different one. Axel, though, 26 kills. We haven't necessarily touched upon his impact in Mirage, but towards short, towards middle, he's been demanding respect, and again, he seizes it. Xanta, that is a sharp shot onto the AWPer. I think Zorte blindsided, thinking that Zyron was holding apartments for him, and now we've got a bit of chaos, a little bit of scare over towards B, but the artillery shies away any madness. Zwei, however, he's taken some liberties out onto this other side of the map. He has got the kill onto Axel. They should know about him, and he just about gets away, loses a lot of his HP, and the issue might be now is the bomb coming out from Palace, but Lear makes short work of Boomich. Magnagers still tucked away in his spawn. Siren holding a deep angle from short, and this is massive from Zwei. Changes of position, Bazorte cracks the cranium, and they know Lear was towards this A-bomb site. Magnagez are repositioned towards window, and he should have all the information of Lear. A well-placed microphone coming over towards his teammate, exactly where Lear is going, and up short he goes, but he will not progress any further as Magnagez, that reposition succeeds with BetBoom claiming 11th and forcing Nemiga to fish out money from the bottom of the barrel.
Oh, how the turns table, man. This was looking like Nemiga were about to run away with those last couple of rounds and take us to that third map. But BetBoom, again, those kind of last minute adaptations. When I say last minute, not last minute in the round, but last minute in the map, getting close to kind of the end of the line and realizing, well, we can't really afford to make any more mistakes here. Let's clean it up, and clean it was. Clean it remains. And I think part of kind of what's feeding into this is they kind of reinforced their mid quite a bit. Nemiga was getting a lot of space in towards mid, and they did it enough that Nemiga have kind of stopped contesting mid as often, or at the very least as early on in the round. So now, this round, prime example, peek out window a little bit. Oh, we don't see anything there. Cool, just back away. They know that, well, they should be aware that they're going to be coming up against pistols, so they, like you said, right, keep those anti-ecos clean, try and stay a little bit more bunched up with the rest of your teammates so you're not going to be getting caught off guard. But it's kind of indicative of how a lot of these rounds have been going. And the change up for BetBoom has kind of meant the world to their resurgence.
There should be nothing for Nemiga in this round. Even the boost into windows being held for. Axile nearing on 30 kills. He's having a ridiculous game. And yeah, I think he was already spotted, but kind of reconfirmed there and dealt with. This round doesn't necessarily matter how clean it is, because we are going into the final round, and money is fine regardless. But it's always a good confidence point when you keep all 5 alive. And look at the economy for Nemiga. They go into the final round, potentially, of this series, at minimum, of regulation, and they take a very well-timed tactical pause. They've got 30 seconds to speak about what they want to do in this game. Maybe settle the nerves a little bit. Khan is reduced to only a Galil. On top of that, not even full utility across the board. Not one player has a full set of util. Whereas on the duality of that, you've got BetBoom double AWPing with also the A1Ss in spawn for the retake. This series, this map, is set up for BetBoom's taking. After being down 3-7, they resurge effectively onto Mirage and just looking to tie a nice little bow on top of this first series.
The bow's looking a little bit battered at the moment. Not as pristine as
they missed the window smoke. They missed the window smoke.
Oh, that's a bit rough. All right,
in round 24 of the IEM Dallas qualifiers, you missed the window smoke.
Well, plan B, I suppose. Instead, they're not going to be going for that. Oh, okay, they throw out a flash there, and that allows the kind of run over. There was the smoke as well, so quite a lot of cover there. So there's still potential to take this mid control, but Axile is still here. There's 2 AWPs.
They hit the window smoke.
Sorry, Freddy. So toxic.
Oh, Axel, I was just thinking, why is no one looking towards underpass? Why is no one looking towards bench? That's such a free opening kill for Xanta, a breakdown in the setup, a breakdown in the communications for BetBoom as they lose their talisman early on in the most important of rounds.
That's okay. Trade it up.
But will they expect Risky Bob? It's a great play from Magnagez. He stems the bleeding, but this could just set up Risky Bob.
Boomich, how crazy do you want to get with this? Khan playing a dangerous game here. Ooh. Oh! Holy.
He gets out.
He does get out. Things are a little bit
Ooh, does
scary
he?
there. Boomich, are you gonna get out? He's still alive, but there's someone right behind him, and it's Risky Bob who finally does get the opportunity to activate. Zorte spots
good
a
flash.
knee. Great flash, which does not allow Zorte to connect that shot, which means that now Nemiga are on the site, and the bomb can get planted. How much more can get done here? This round is everything to take us into overtime. But holy Zorte, what a shot! 3 versus 2 now. Zorte dangerously low on the HP as Siren will get taken out. So now this once again comes into a winnable position for Nemiga. Magnage's taken off the line. Zorte 2 HP and a dream. He does have a kit, but realistically, what can he do in this scenario? And that bomb continues to tick away, and he realizes to the same thing. What can he do?
Wait.
So instead, does he realize that it's...
You can't save into the
Zorte?
next round. We're going to overtime, Zorte. And he dies to the bomb. Doesn't matter.
Anyway.
Because it was
okay.
round 24. We're going to overtime. Zorte forgot that it was the final round. It was a 3 versus 2 for BetBoom, and they let it slip through their fingers, even though Zorte's heroics of a wallbang should have paved the way to success. Magnages misses his duel between Khan and Connector, and because of that, Nemiga on their opponent's map pick, they're looking for vengeance. They're looking to push this to Anubis, and now, with overtime being birthed, this is their prime opportunity.
Brother. That round felt maybe not winnable. When it got to the 2 versus 2, it felt like there was a chance. But Nemiga do well to dig their heels in. First overtime now. We slow things down. Nemiga have been pretty decent at taking that early map control. But now we want to kind of do something a bit more different, a bit more out of the box, perhaps, from what they've already done before. Clears out the close angle, no one there. A lot of util being used very early on. BetBoom themselves have actually burned quite a lot early on in the round here. Nemiga doing something very similar to what BetBoom actually did on Train in that final round where they bled out all of that util. BetBoom still have quite a bit to work with here, but only 1 smoke left.
Oh my
Great
God.
swing from Axile just before the smoke blooms. Zorte gets the kill onto Khan as well, which means that suddenly this is in a dangerous position. Only 2 players left now for Nemiga. Bomb is still in mid, has to make its way somewhere. And Bob is gone. That's the bomb. Zway's the last one left. Does he know that Siren is in on the site? Trying to check everything, trying to make some magic happen. Retrieves the bomb. Siren hasn't seen him to know Zway. Oh, he doesn't check. And there you go. It's another round for BetBoom.
Could have just done that in regulation. But it's the difference there as well. Like, we're actually not overstepping and we're not overplaying our hand. We haven't got a guy just holding top mid from short, exposed to underpass. Like, we're actually playing a little bit more cohesively. And sure, the spam is terrific from BetBoom, the opening kill from Axile, but it's him getting a double, it's Zorte getting a lot more consistent with the orb. Those are the win capacities for BetBoom. And for Nemiga, they start off their overtime crusade negatively, and Axile's looking to double down, pushing, fighting, surging into middle. Lear shuts him down, and now Siren set up on this B-bomb site all alone. Has to be a massive hold from him. He's only found 1, however, as Risky Bob will find revenge, and it falls into the hands of Zorte and Boomich for this retake. Just swinging out with utility, giving away our lives. And this picking up of the pace for Nemiga is going to pay dividends.
Yeah, that was a weird one because it felt like, I mean, you could see Axile kind of like flashing himself in, using a lot of util so that he can take space in mid, and he does get that first kill, but he's totally alone, totally untradeable, so he himself gets traded. And we see like similar things even over towards that B site, you know, getting really aggressive in on towards the site, getting caught with util out, trying to like make these crazy plays. It feels like maybe BetBoom got taken by surprise, to say the very least, and a lot of the cracks in the armor came to the fore there. So Nemiga have the opportunity to even out the scoreline. be grateful for the sigh of relief, the breath of relief. I do like that BetBoom. Go on.
I was gonna say, even though Axel Shaw makes the bad play, like, you know, there's no real two ways about that. If I'm 31 and 12, I'm also pushing mid there. I don't know. I'm also going mid. If I'm feeling myself that much, I'm taking the fight to them. So I don't blame him. Obviously, it's fundamentally not the right thing to do. But if he got the kill, he could then go help Siren. You know, he probably would have won the round off it. So it's kind of the whole victors write the history. But it could cost him his team. It could cost his team this game.
A very depressing prospect. But we've still got a few rounds to play through before we need to have that conversation.
It's scary.
Oh, Leah. Oh, catches the Palace player, but nice positions. No, and he peeks out, but that's okay. Crossfire, not even necessary. Magnages only able to get one, and meanwhile, Nemiga are slowly whittling away in the rest of the site. So now it's down to 2 versus 2. Zorte gets caught out, so Siren has to somehow 1v2 this. His position is no. There you go. He just gets shut down. Another just kind of really chaotic round.
Yeah, like you have the double con setup, that's really good. But then Boomich doesn't get the kill on Risky Bob, so Risky Bob's able to force that narrative onto the stairs players, right? Like, the fact that Boomich, in this double-layered setup, doesn't get a single kill is the negative piece there. And for Nemiga, you have Zorte making the very brazen play to jump around from CT to triple. He gets the kill, but Siren is still shifting in window. Siren's not making any help to go and try and protect his teammates, so you've got players just doing different things on the server, and because of that, Nemiga are gonna go to 14.
Nemiga having a lead for the first time in a minute.
Oh, Boomich is dead.
Yeah. Oh, does that connect? It does. Would be really funny if it didn't hit. Nice opener there from Nemiga. Good little bit of aggression in towards mid, denying BetBoom the opportunity to take that control themselves. And I like that they retreat out, right? Like, they get that first kill, they realize, all right, there's nothing else happening in mid. Now we've got to fan out. However, they've sent 3 towards A, which is the standard, but with so many of BetBoom making their way in towards B, you kind of need those reinforcements. Or maybe not. Risky Bob just continues to be a thorn in their side. Beautiful nade will get Magnages really low here and force BetBoom to kind of have to rethink things a little bit here. Very limited utility available to them. 2 smokes. And instead, yep, nope, we're not going to push this.
This is nightmare fuel right now for BetBoom. You're most likely going to have to play for double overtime. Mirage is the map that this year they've had massive success so far, beating Maus, Furia, NIP, Passion UA. Sure, a lot of those games came down to the wire. Those are big scalps to be taking, and we come into IEM Dallas close qualifiers, and it's Nemiga who are taking a 2-map point in this first overtime. Siren, his acrobatics will not keep him alive. Zorte, these are some nice shots being connected, but 15. It's 15 on the cards for Nemiga. 2 opportunities to send us to Anubis.
I love the resurgence from them here. The fact that they've really started to kind of pick up into this overtime when the pressure is on, and on their CT side, which was arguably their better side. I mean, yes, we did obviously go into overtime, which means that both sides were pretty hotly contested. But in terms of just looking like the better team, CT was certainly where things looked the best for Nemiga. Now they've pulled out a double AWP of their own. They want to stamp this in its tracks as quickly as possible. They've left Xanta alone as the B anchor. No one's kind of hovering that side at the moment, so it's potentially a really solid read from Nemiga. Strong reinforcements in towards mid here. The smokes will clear.
Risky Bob, not the AWPer, has just got the opening kill with the AWP, peeking window. Liz also pushed through connector. Zwei as well. 3 in and around connector, and there's the double AWPs coming out. Liz pushed all the way up middle, and what a brutal way to be forced into a third map. BetBoom on your map pick, now relying on Axel and Zorte. Risky Bob, missed AWP shot. They know about Lear in top mid, and even though they know about him, Axel can't do anything about it. Zorte, he's on the A-bomb site, but the bomb's down top mid. We've got 50 seconds left, and Nemiga, they're showing that they have some fight. They are showing that they have some skin in this game. Anubis will be dawning upon us.
I mean, I loved that, right? I was saying about how their CT side had looked so much cleaner, and that was a really solid round as well. They realized that there had already been a push towards the B side, and B was, it had received very kind of little love.
Who won Katowice yesterday?
Yeah, Vitality had a phenomenal day for the organization in general. They won 2 big esports events, 2 different games, all on the same day. So to match that sort of prowess would be quite the accomplishment. But for 3D Max, I mean, it's a team with a lot of veteran talent on it, and they've, you know, had some pretty decent results on, you know, various rosters and, you know, teams in the past. So yeah, we look forward to that. But for now, we find ourselves here on Anubis, and as mentioned, BetBoom did win that knife round. So of course, they're going to be starting off here on the T side, looking to make a little bit of a statement start onto the map, going for this interesting, okay, jump off the bridge. I don't hate it. A little bit of a bait and switch there, running straight in through, but Xantar's right behind. Good for 2. And okay, looks like we won't have a repeat of Mirage Xantar, as he finally does get traded out, but okay, we bring it down to 3 versus 3. Bomb is moved. You know what? Maybe we won't go B. Maybe instead we go A. It's 2 versus 1 on the A side, but with that final kill onto Axile coming through, it means that Nemiga can send reinforcements over. They've heard the footsteps. They know that this is what's happening. A swing from Khan will take out Zorte. Bomb to get planted, but not much more to be done in that one. Bit of fancy footwork, but ultimately it's Nemiga who will take the first round.
Yeah, I mean, very brazen plays coming out from Nemiga, left, right, and center. You have Xanta dropping through behind them into canals. You also have Zway pushing, and I think that's the issue, and that's why the bomb's gone down. And I think the bomb going down in itself is a pretty big failure for the CT side. I really don't feel like that should have been a possibility, but Zway charges into connector after his teammate has fallen. He falls, and it allows them to segue over towards that A-bomb site, but Nemiga did very well to make sure that they 2v1 the guy B main, and Khan also played really well on the A-bomb side, just sniping them off one by one. But BetBoom, aforementioned bomb going down, extra $600, they're going to have the repurchase back in.
A little bit of noise being made over towards A. Trying to pull some of the attention, the rotations across if they can. And Nemiga have just gone, nah, that's bait. Not opting to fall for that. They'll reinforce mid here, looking to make a rotation in towards B if necessary, which may yet be the case. BetBoom still have a bit of time to actually commit to something. Well, looks like they're actually going to go for this mid push here. It's a great read from Nemiga to reinforce so heavily. Should be, caught blind and unable to make anything happen. Boomich along with Axile, great kind of double up from them there, and around that maybe shouldn't have gone this way. BetBoom find themselves at a massive player advantage with only 2 players left for Nemiga here. As good as the read was, the execution wasn't where it needed to be, and they're just going to have to fall back and save.
That is a pretty poor round for Nemiga, getting eviscerated in middle. And Zway dying here could be a big issue. And yeah, the worst case scenario for a CT side is to win pistol round and then lose the conversion. If you lose round 2, you then go on to round 3 with 1400 loss bonus. And well, if you look at the economy, that's going to mean 5-7 armor. And that's about it, really. So, not a great position for Nemiga to be in early doors. Risky Bob does have a kit. This is a very risky play, and unfortunately for him, there's 2 players still on the bomb site. That would have been insane, but BetBoom, they know his antics. They know by name, by nature.
I feel like this was a great call from BetBoom to go for the... So we saw on Mirage when they'd lost that first pistol round, even though they got bombed down, they opted not to go for a kind of strong investment into it and rather have money for the third round. This time around, really leaning into the T-sided nature, they go for a more expensive buy, they risk it all, and they have reset Nemiga's economy, which is massive. It could be a huge game changer for them in this first half. So well done to them for getting that second round on board here. And again, we keep things respectful and as tight and clean as possible. It looks like they have managed to identify where the stack is, and they're just going to challenge it. Axile, good for the first one. Follows it up quite nicely. There's one more player here, and he swings it. No fear at all. Sure, it's a pistol round, but maybe a bit too antsy from Nemiga and not really coordinated.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, when you're on these low purchases, when you're forced onto a double eco and you've just got those 5/7s armor I was talking about, you have to go for those aggressive plays towards B. You have to take the fight to your opposition, try catch them off guard. But when you're playing up against a previous top 5 player of the year, and now seemingly in form after his drop-off on train, he just will dispatch of you easily. And it's also not a great sign that Axile's doing this well early on. That does scare me for Nemiga. I mean, on Mirage, I guess he was doing that well. It didn't matter, but I don't know. I feel like if Axile steps up, that could be an early showing of day's done.
Now the full effects, of course, of that reset coming into fruition. It's a double eco. Nemiga now have literally nothing to spend. So another foregone conclusion of a round for BetBoom, and they'll go up to 3 in this one. And yeah, I mean, Axile and Boomich, right? Zorta obviously holding his own here. Hasn't got the AWP in his hands just yet, so we'll wait for the real magic to start at that point. But Axile and Boomich were 2 of the players that we'd really highlighted. Everyone will know, right? They're 2 of the newer players on the team. Big upgrades that have come through and definitely paying off and showing why they were brought in. So it's good to see that they are stepping up and making that magic happen. Hopefully when we get into the next round, when Nemiga will actually have some guns again, we might start to see them kind of step up a little bit. Because, I mean, that pistol round was really good. Of course, it was chaos incarnate. But it went in their favor. They played it really well. And, I mean, that's one of those what more can you ask for kind of scenarios. They managed to steal away one gun here. Alright, we'll just hold on to that one. So yeah, next round, this is where the magic could start to happen for Nemiga. Because again, the CT side is their stronger one. So hopefully they can make that happen.
How are the other games looking? It's very exciting, these closed qualifier, open qualifier days. There's a lot of action. BC game after losing map 1, after losing their map pick. Same thing going on in that series, same as ours. Teams trade maps. BC game won the half on Ancient 7-5, so you know, MUP UK Counter-Strike. OG still suck, okay. And Falcons TNL, yeah, Falcons seem to have awoken. TNL poked the beast, and now they're finding the repercussions of that. But it's good to see Australia's doing well. Just qualifying for Blast Open Lisbon, and then now should be looking for Dallas, so that's a good sign. But as we mentioned, big gun round. And for the T side, they're quite separated on both the extremities, looking to bully A, looking to bully B. And I'm not necessarily a huge fan of working both parts of the map at the same time, but it might actually work out as Axile catches a fantastic timing. They turn their attention towards Connector, and boom, he gets the opening kill. In the meantime, we're also putting a lot of pressure over towards Xanta and Pillar. He's down to 50 HP. And we're just going to hold. We've got the man advantage. We've put Nemiga in a very uncomfortable position. We just regroup now, and we hit our desired bomb site.
And there's still a healthy amount of utility for them to play with as well. But, oh, that's a great push in towards water to instantly kind of bring things back to a more even kilter. And it does give them a fair amount of information. So Nemiga now have kind of pulled back a little bit and opted not to go for hyper aggression. They've left mid completely unguarded, however. So now BetBoom have options. They can push towards A, or they can make the pivot in towards B. B is not going to be the call. Instead, it's going to be A, and if they can get control of this site, it should be easy pickings. A great swing to take out that one lone anchor. Bomb to get planted. 2 versus 3 here for Nemiga. Surely you just save again.
Yeah, that was unfortunate. You're in the 4 versus 5. You're forced to eradicate the offset that you've been put in. So you go for this double canals push. And it just doesn't really work out for you. I feel like BetBoom, it was a bit weird in their mid round. It felt like the A players were coming back towards B and the B players were going back towards middle. It felt a little bit disjointed. And they actually could have just pushed towards B straight away. Off the contact towards canals if the players outside B were there. But BetBoom, they don't over-rush things. They just take their time and they go through middle. They play a death ball style of Counter-Strike, and Lear, he gets negated super easily. In Nemiga, they do save 2. Khan and Xanta will bring over their A1Ss into the following round. But around that, it should just be a lower purchase. We're going to be calling a timeout. A pretty good time to call your first tack timeout, because you won the pistol, but everything since has been just a downward spiral, and BetBoom starting to pick up some pace on this T side.
Mm-hmm. And I know they come into this with less than favorable economy. So to pull out something miraculous here would be fantastic, because it would start to kind of chip away at BetBoom's money. And I say chip away, I mean, you've got 2 players that are above $8,000. Like, let's be real here. So you need to start taking those steps. These rounds have been relatively clean for BetBoom. Their reinvests haven't been as egregious as they could have been, which means that they continue to just keep snowballing that money. And for Nemiga to be able to somehow turn things on its head here would be ideal. But I'm going to go ahead and say it's unlikely.
I've seen much crazier things happen. We've seen it this series already. Nemiga on train, some of their few rounds they got on the T side were with those pistols. Zway picked up a massive triple in one of the opening rounds. And this is a good start. Siren has been dunked by a grenade towards carpets, so he's already down to 50 HP, which softens him even further to the SMGs, to the pistols. And for Nemiga, I'd love to see them go for maybe like a bit of a gamble stack. Maybe try push out on one of the extremities. Try get some information so they can heavily rotate with this lower weaponry, and they're going to choose to stack towards this B bomb site. Unfortunately, BetBoom, the A bomb site is in their sights, and Lear is now the only defender about to be in a whole host of trouble.
God, yeah, with just a pistol. Not terribly much that he's going to be able to get done here. The stack, of course, heavily leaning over towards B. Oh, jeez, man. He didn't even have a chance. That was over before it even began. Sights overrun, and, well, that is a round. There's no way that Nemiga pushed this. It would be folly to attempt so. So at least they'll be able to take some stuff. They might... Okay, I see a world where Zwei actually goes for something here, just because you could potentially get a free upgrade. But aside from that, surely you don't get too crazy with this.
Yeah, I mean, we have a purchase next round anyways, but it's really good for the economy to keep the likes of Khan and Xanta alive. And yeah, you see Zwei trying to get something cheeky done with the Deagle. He'll get reduced to mulch. And it's BetBoom with a very simple methodical T round to put them on 5, bridging the gap to be 4. And for Nemiga, this is the issue I was talking about in the pregame of, like, your T side can be good, but if you're just unable to get anything really going on your CT side, and you change the half with like 2 or 3 rounds, no matter how good your T side is, it can be very difficult when you're on that big of a deficit.
Well, holding on to those weapons has helped to ensure that Khan has an AWP in his hands. And this is the round. This is where they need to start coming back into this. We're halfway through the first half. And things have just not been looking good. Oh, geez. A little bit of damage done with the AWP, but unfortunately, Zwei gets taken out. Nice return HE to trade it out. That's beautiful. As now the push is going to start coming in towards the B site. Khan activates. Only good for the first. As Baggages will get himself a beautiful little double. Now, the anchor is just not anchoring very well. Run over, cut down, and Xanta has to somehow 1 versus 2. Bomb not planted just yet. So there is a world if he can isolate these duels and keep a little bit of that HP. Maybe he can make it happen. Don't tunnel in onto the bomb planter. Clears effectively. Does manage to kill it, but not before the bomb does get planted. A smoke to cover the bomb. A second smoke. A Molotov to deny pushing in, but it's not going to deny the sight line. Slips into the smoke. He's getting spammed down. He taps the bomb. The shots connect. And Zorte will deny that defuse, but a valiant attempt nonetheless.
Okay, that got a little bit too close for comfort at the end there. But ultimately, it's Magnajez's double that will serve BetBoom a 6th. He plays that magnificently, taking full capitalization of the information that's been warranted from the rest of his teammates, and shows the Nemiga that a smoke is not a brick wall. He runs straight through in connector, and it's a lovely change of pace for BetBoom to try and just full execute onto that B bomb site very early on, and it worked perfectly. They changed the pace, they conditioned very nicely, and it's just another lost round for Nemiga. Even though there's a good attempt of the 1 versus 2, it's ultimately failure. A purchase back in. It's not going swimmingly just yet. Khan unable to trade out his teammates, so BetBoom take control of A main, and in a 4 versus 4, look to return their sight onto this B-bomb site with Zorte already picking up the opening kills. Zwei towards jail. I don't know if that was miscommunication, if Risky Bob was supposed to be holding connector, but it's all falling apart. Magnajez, even though he has the bomb, doesn't get trapped. Can't put Baby in a corner. And now these last 2 players in a very uncomfortable position. There's Molos, there's Flashbangs, and there's Boomich.
Oh, and that's heartbreaking because they went for the double AWP as well. And it's the first kill that comes through onto Zwei on that second AWP. A huge investment into that round. And it should have netted them results. I mean, you can lean on the T-sided nature of a map so far. But at a point, you are getting outclassed. And I think that we've reached that point now. BetBoom, they're just having their way with Anubis. They're literally just not concerned with anything thus far. Smoke sprays getting ridiculous amounts of value. AWPs being shut down before they have an opportunity to even step onto the playing field. And BetBoom looking at an 8th round. There is a world in which this is an 11-1 half, and I don't know how Nemiga mentally recover from something like that, given the fact that they fought so tenaciously on Mirage to even get us to this 3rd map position. The fact that it's now kind of trickling through their fingers, this has got to be pure devastation.
Yeah, this feels like a whole team effort right now. You've got Zorte opening kills, Axel opening kills, Magnajez opening kills, Boomich double entries, Siren supporting. Everyone's playing their role in this well-oiled machine of BetBoom. And a team that's so fresh with a change of IGL, a change of star player, doing as well as they have already at the start of the year. That's why I was confused and surprised to the loss of Mirage. Feel like they shouldn't have let that one slip. Should have closed out in regulation for starters. But they're making up for making amends on Anubis as they force another tactical timeout for Nemiga. They're taking good tactical timeouts. You know, I will say that. They are doing well in when they are using them. The issue is that then has to facilitate a round, and so far they haven't got anything since the pistol. They had one close 1 versus 2, but apart from that, it's been all BetBoom. And for the T side, they've been changing the pace amazingly. I feel like going towards mid here, would be a really good... If they do it towards the mid round, it will really catch Nemiga off guard. Or just keep on hitting the B-bomb site because, hey, what ain't broke, don't try and fix.
It has been working pretty darn consistently for them.
Oh, they're going mid.
Nemiga have managed to scrape into another AWP here, but
I want to say onus.
Yeah, but like I was gonna make a point about Khan not really having the opportunity, and then I realized that he's top fragging. Like it's just
on 5 kills.
Yeah, things are really rough right now.
Ooh,
there we go.
That's a lot of people.
You know, there's a hoedown happening in mid right now. A little bit of util just to try and slow things down a little bit, but it's not really going to do too much to deter. A smoke to come through, sprays through, but Magnagez, his multi-kills this map have been out of this world. Now they've overrun the site already. They've only sent 2 into the site. The rest of their team are still holding down mid, holding down a potential flank in through water. The round is over. Let's be real.
All I'm saying, Boom Mitch, is if you need any tips, just hit me up. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, okay.
Hey. Me and Boom Mitch would have had the exact same call this round, so... You know... You can't teach class. It just happens. Some are just born with it.
Maybe it's
Yeah, it also does help when one of your players does just get a double entry.
Yep.
That is obviously a pretty helpful proceeding. Oh, this is really perfect. Oh, brother. It's a massacre. Dude, Magnagez takes the first contact in B main, and then as they all turn around to fight him, Siren and Axel go, hello, and just peek their head around the corner, and just boom, boom, left, right, good night. Axel had 8 HP, and he picks up 2 kills. Okay, whatever, dude. It's 9-1. You were talking about 11-1 looking pretty likely. 9-3 is the best. Is best case scenario right now. So, I think you could be. I think you might be right.
Yeah, like I said, the mental reset is gonna have to be massive during this half. Okay, Khan. Okay, Khan. Nice, a little bit of aggression there. Gets those first 2 kills. Takes the AWP off the board as well. I don't think they can recover that AWP. I think it's in a bit of a tight spot there. But, I mean, that is the best possible way that they could have started out this round. Zorte offline. Takes a huge issue off board. And Khan follows it up with a 3rd kill. Khan, where have you been all game? Where has this been? You know what? It's because he forwent the AWP, right?
Yeah, he has to go back to the FAMAS.
There you go, you know? And the FAMAS is better now. So,
and the MP9's nerfed, I've been told.
And yet,
and you could see, it really showed in that duel, didn't it? Okay,
right,
Khan's finally. Also, you were talking about Khan this game. I would extend that to the series.
Yeah, that's fair.
Ooh, bonky nade. This would be maybe the clutch of his career. 1v5, 30 seconds, 40 HP. If he wins this, I'm going to do a Vince callback. I will eat a boot.
Nope.
Oh. Real ones know that reference. QBF, Boston Major.
You know, I'll be real, I would have gone with a shoey. Just shout out Melbourne, you know?
No, so Vince did his pick'ems and he was like, oh, if QBF make the legends, I'll eat a boot. And then QBF made legends, and he ate a boot.
Did he?
It was chocolate.
Oh, I was about to say,
Still
like,
though.
how do you season a boot in order to? But okay, fair enough.
You actually fry it, and you put it in the oven for 200 degrees
10
for
days.
20 minutes. 10 days, yeah. A millennial. You melt it down to its core components.
Turn it into a spice. Ooh,
Oh,
Khan.
Khan's back. He's spicy.
All right, and I mean, taking down Magnagez is great because he's been the multi-kill demon for so much of this, and he just slips away as well.
Yeah, they all have. That's the issue. That was what I brought up before. It was like everyone's doing well, so it's like, okay, you've taken down one head of the Hydra. You kill one, 2 more appear. and Zorte's dueling them with an Orc close connector in towards middle. Lear in a spot of bother, and yep, that's exactly what I mean. One head falls, another will multi-kill. Boomich picks up 2. We're trying to get some action towards A main, and Siren, it's perfect. Doesn't allow Zan to retreat onto the bomb site. Claims A as his own, but he's allowed Khan to slip through the net. Khan is now over towards Broken Wall. Zwei has pushed in towards Canals. They know about him, and because of that, the bomb is setting its sails towards the B bomb site, but instead, Boomich elects to pivot back towards middle. This is a very awkward 2 versus 2, and Zwei is right into it. He knows they're not going B. He's coming back to middle, and he's going to meet the IGL head on.
With only 20 seconds left, this has to be absolutely perfect. They're right around the corner from one another, and Boomich cannot get anything more. Khan will finish it off, and somehow, against the odds, against all sense of reason, we get another 2 rounds on board for Nemiga at the half.
Okay, we've seen this before. On Mirage, BetBoom had a little bit of a resurgence at the end of the second half. They won the second pistol round, and we went to overtime. This is a little bit different because, you know, there's a 6-round difference this time, not a 2-round difference. But Nemiga, they're on their T side. They've showed us they can battle back. On Mirage, they forced it into overtime, and they won after losing the first round overtime. So we know they have that ability to dig deep delve into their resources and channel all of their energy for potentially the final half of this series. Will BetBoom just push over the line? Are they just going to win it? Is it going to be boring? Are they just going to win 13-3? Or do Nemiga have some fight in them left?
I certainly hope it's the latter. They've shown that they can be Oh, Leah spots something. All right, calls it across. 2 players move in, and they'll get that first kill. Very nice. They'll start moving in, but look at this rotation from BetBoom. This is outrageous. Are they expecting to just get absolutely wrapped on? They got a couple of eyes out towards their spawn, but they're losing those battles. BetBoom pulls the Uno reverse card. They will also tag team their way in through B main. A bomb does get planted, but somehow Khan's going to have to 1v4 here. It's going to be a little bit of a miracle needed. Can't even buy time, and his head is lobbed clean off by Axile.
Okay, so what I'm hearing is going to be a boring game now. Fine, BetBoom will win, the better team. Yeah, ultimately, I feel like Nemiga have always been my Cinderella team at heart. They've always been the team that I was really impressed with last year. It was kind of like the underdog. You've got Zway, Khan, not very big names in the scene. They lose Flammus, they lose their talisman, and yet they do better after losing him. So impressive. They hit top 28 in the world on the HLTV rankings. They're currently sitting 42nd in the Valve rankings. But unfortunately, in this series, it's going to be no Cinderella stories. It's going to be BetBoom, the team that should win, the team that are fundamentally better, realistically should have closed out Mirage. But they're going to do it on Anubis. 10-3 up. They win the pistol round. Nemiga did get the bomb down, so this is actually, they could just do what BetBoom did to them. Lose the pistol round the CT side, and then win 9 rounds in a row flawlessly. If they do that, we're going to overtime. But that's a lot to ask.
I'll be honest, I was getting ready to be like, if you're wrong, it's the greatest caster curse in all of history, and it will go down as such. But then you put a qualifier on it, and now I'm sad.
I actually did that yesterday, earlier. Spirit Academy up against Fnatic. 3-11 down. It goes 11-11. Fnatic won though.
Ah.
I was like, Spirit Academy, there's no way they win this game. I was like, I'm not even amusing the possibility. And then it was 11-11. I was like, oh my god.
Risky Bob. Risked it.
That's a big kill.
Got 1 biscuit, but instantly traded out. They'll be happy with that. And they've already got strong position in towards mid, but Zorte winning out against Leah. However, they still don't know. They still don't know. Zenta, the first kill to come through. Follow it up with the second. It's perfect. He was there for so long. Finally, he will get traded out by Boomich. How much more can Boomich get done? Not a thing. A great crossfire to get set up. Bomb to get planted as the smoke dissipates. Siren spots one, but that's his position known. I thought the bomb was already planted.
They were allergic to applying that bomb. On both occasions against Boomich and Siren, they come off the bomb to duel. And you know what? It actually works. Sometimes teams get tunnel visioned into getting that bomb down at all costs. But Nemiga do very well. Both Zway and Khan, the 2 young guns of the team, they go, actually, hold off. We're not going to plant. We're going to fight together, and we're going to take those duels and isolate the 1v1s. And that's exactly what they did. And that's the reason why Nemiga go on to 4.
Xanta getting so much free space in mid, though, was just outrageous. Not a single person watching for it, expecting it, thinking that there was a possibility that it could happen. That's crazy. And, I mean, what were you saying about Nemiga doing the same thing to BetBoom? Lose the pistol, win the second round, win 9 rounds in a row. Okay, we got the first 2.
Do you want to hear something crazy as well?
Go on.
TNL Falcons, overtime on map 3. BC game big. Looks like that's going to overtime. Yep. It's 1 round away from overtime. So, hey, you know, these Dallas qualifiers, they can be exciting. So I'm all here for it. I'm all here for it. Let's get an overtime. Let's get full 24 rounds. All the maps. We don't have many of these qualifiers, so we got to embrace it and enjoy it while they last. I'm here for the chaos. Oh. Man, I'm solo. Axel has just picked up 2 kills with USB. Kind of brazy from him. That's actually really good economical damage. Only 2 players surviving in the last 2 rounds for Nemiga puts BetBoom. It was yeah, they ecoed that round. Okay, so they're really taking the whole double eco to heart, and they're buying up just artillery for this round. You know what? I rate it. I think sometimes, especially in this manner, you'll be 10-6 up going into your gun round, and in that round, you're gonna have the AWP out for Zorte, you're gonna have all the bells and whistles, and you're not throwing away rounds just by buying 5/7 armor, which would have been the previous purchase. While also keeping the economy somewhat in check, and hopefully the plan is to do the same in this round. Try get some kills. Try just make it costly for the T side, but unfortunately it seems like that's not going to be the case as BetBoom. They're congregated all towards B, and Nemiga are just walking out onto A. Lear's going to spot them at range, and his AK, yeah, it's no real match to the USPs. So this round a lot cleaner, which is good for the econ of Nemiga. And this is the biggie. We've got, as I mentioned, they've double ecodes, they've got full utility, they've got the AWP. They're in the best position to succeed on the CT side. This is where we start to see, does Nemiga's comeback have any legs to it? They've been given some breathing room, but now they're thrown back into the frying pan. Ooh, aggressive canal smoke. We've not done anything with it. Leads me to think that in the future we might... Well, for now we're conditioning, and in the future they're going to try and use that canal's smoke, the stairs smoke, and take aggressive control. For now though, it's A main control being contested. And Boomich, well, he's lost his teammate. He's all by himself, but Boomich lines up 3, only gets 2 because there's a team kill in the mixture. Risky Bob will trade out. Has taken control of this A bomb site, will be able to get the bomb down, and Zway's lurking through middle, but they are very aware of him. They're holding for this possibility. Now no more, but he goes back towards Canals. Zorte backstabbed. Risky Bob, they know he's alone on the bomb site. They're trying to charge him down, and they will. A kit on both players. Zway fashed off. There's a smoke on the bomb, and Magnajez provides perfect coverage. Even though Nemiga got the opening kill, Boomich kills 3, and BetBoom on their first gun round back up to 11. What a hold from Boomich. I feel like we're not live. Okay, we have a moment to catch our breath. That last round probably would have been won if Zway didn't drop Canals. That was a bit of an interesting play from me, I'll be honest. I think the fact that Zway gets the kill on Zorte and then drops into Canals, and to both Magnajez and whoever was with him, I can't remember, whoever defused the bomb, it's just like, oh, well, Risky Bob's alone on the bomb site. Let's just go kill him. And yeah, to me, that was like, I feel like Zway in the moment kind of got caught up with it all. And because of that, Nemiga lost out on the 2 versus 2 very easily. Okay. We have a player issue, so we've got a short tech pause. What's going on in the other games? Falcons are 14-13 up on Mirage, the decider. BC Game denied overtime. The Germans down to the lower bracket. And BC Game have set up their next match against Astralis at 5 p.m. today CET. Whoever wins this game, by the way, will be playing the winners of either TNL or Falcons. Which right now it looks like Falcons, but TNL have showed that, hey, you don't want to count them till it's over. Especially because it was a 9-3 half for Falcons on their CT side. And then TNL punched back with 9 rounds of their own, winning 4 in a row, which had Falcons on map point and series point subsequently. We've got another similar game to like the Falcons TNL up next on the D stream. Nevermore versus 3D Max. It is a Ukrainian team that have just made advanced going into season 52 of ESEA. They had a really good main season. I think they went, I want to say 11-3 or 10-4, and they made this really deep run in playoffs. No roster changes, and they're doing really well. 11-3, and then they came 5th in main. It's crazy. And then on top of that, in advance, they've actually been doing quite well. They're 5-2. And then obviously making qualifiers here, and their run's ridiculous. I actually played against them in an official, and we almost beat them in a best of 3. So they've come a long way from that. But hopefully the game should be back up soon. And Sam, you're back with me. To be decided. Okay, back on the tech pause. Let's go talk about some open qualifier results. Starting off with some games that, you know, it's not an upset, but it's potentially an interesting result. BC Game, 13-5 against Aurora. Oof. That's not a game that I thought would be 13-5. Zero Tenacity, 13-5 against Ents. Ooh, Ents on Train. I thought they were pretty good on Train. BC Game again. Big tear against NIP. Mirage again, 13-9. Big upset. NIP not even making a HLTV. Fnatic lost to QPT. You might recognize some names. Forksy, Pumpkin66. Some staple names of the Kazakh region. That's a massive result against Fnatic. TNL, who are obviously contesting Falcons, dude, they had some massive results. 1 win, Sashi, teams that are certainly like higher caliber of them, and there's many more that we will discuss in due course. But for now, it's BetBoom back live. They won the previous, but Nemiga, because they kept all 5 alive in round 16, they have a full purchase. The round's been restored, and Nemiga, they are looking to go straight through middle.
All right, Pierre, to be back. Let's go.
Hello.
And I see Nemiga.
We rejoice.
Hello. And I see Nemiga have... We do. And so did Nemiga. Managing to get a couple of rounds, I see.
No, Nemiga are not rejoicing. They lost a 5v4 last round. Boom, which got a triple kill. And they played an awful 2v2. BetBoom are rejoicing, I would say.
I mean, but I mean, like, Nemiga have some rounds, you know, like they're getting somewhere. They have a slightly better buy, except that Magnages exists, and he'll just continue to do what he does. Kills abound before he finally gets traded out, and well, it looks like this round could be yet another for BetBoom.
Yeah, they're also going to identify that Khan's throwing utility from carpet, so this is a really nice play on the A-bomb site. Leave mid and just funnel yourself to making sure that Khan is no more, and now you can just play this retake in a 4 versus 2 with primary zone of A main, primary zone of camera, and indirectly storage and CT. Lear's already been chonked by a nade. Risky Bob sizzled in the Molotov, and now it's Lear in a 1 versus 4. Skulking around the smoke, spotted out by Zorte, eviscerated to give BetBoom map and series point. The final game that started this morning is live, and it might just be ending very shortly.
That's heartbreaking, because it looks like the Nemiga were having a moment. Unfortunately, sounds. Internet things do internet things. But like, you know, coming back into it, 6 rounds on the board, maybe they were starting to get themselves back in, finding some sort of footing for themselves. But I think the lead that BetBoom had into this half was just far too big, almost insurmountable. And Nemiga clearly just not able to climb that mountain. And now into this round, that previous was a really important one for them to win because economically they're now in not the worst that you can imagine, but certainly one of, with very few signs of opportunity to come back into this. I mean, it's going to take some sort of a miracle to keep them alive in this. And even if they win this round, okay, actually being said, they're a bit tight as well. If they do win this round, then they start to look like this opportunity.
Well, it all comes down to round 19. BetBoom double the scoreline of Nemiga, and the artillery strikes harshly in towards A main. It's a good opening kill, however, even though we're all low HP. Boomich is the first to fall. No triple kill for him in this round. Look at it. It's going even further. Lear now down to 35 HP. 2 towards camera, 1 heaven, and fast Axile coming through A main. Khan does just let him get past, and Axile will end up dispatching with him, and it's Axile returning to his past form. Zorte with a no-scope puts the cherry on top, and Nemiga silenced on Anubis as BetBoom take their first victory in the IEM Dallas 2025 European Closed Qualifiers. Well, a fantastic game of Counter-Strike, a fantastic series of Counter-Strike. All games have actually just been wrapped up. Falcons